could wear a dress and a thong. You can do all of those things. But when the girl starts doing things that's crossing the line, if you don't do something about it, that's when it becomes a problem. Now it's like, oh, I could just walk all over you. And
I feel like black men should not date interracially, but I feel like it's okay for black women to date interracially.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that because that makes no sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Because, okay.
One thing I believe is that girls don't get punched in the face enough.
Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Okay, so if you're listening on YouTube, you can watch. No, if you're watching on YouTube, you can listen to it on Spotify and on Spotify. I know, and Apple, and the Bamboo Project Podcast page on Instagram is the Bamboo Project _podcast. As you can see here, we have my cousin Hadassah. You want to say your Instagram name on here?
My Instagram is, it's kind of long. It's at OMG, it's Hadassah.
Okay, so also, I'm going to be doing consultations. So if you want to call me, they're free. You can DM me. I'll give you my number. We can have a conversation and talk about if you have some type of anxiety problem, some depression, you're trying to get forward in your life, or you're trying to figure out how to handle your girl or your man, or if you're trying to figure out, if you're also trying to figure out how to either further your business or just you want my information about what you're going through or my opinion what you're going through. It's all free. And people who are tuning in the beginning, there's going to be timestamps in the description so you can go to the part of the video that you want to watch. So a lot of people might look at it and go, okay, I want to see this particular part, that particular part. So I have that in the description. And what have we improved on this week, Melissa?
We definitely started earlier.
We started earlier today. But I mean in terms of our life, because I wanted to start doing timestamps.
Of our life?
Yeah, like what are we doing? Right, we bought the clothes, right?
Oh yeah, so wow. Yeah, so I bought the fabric from Mood.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. We bought
You can be
you
alone.
got the electric food peeler.
Okay.
We have a kettle now.
We do have a kettle.
You just got that?
Yeah, like the other day. We got a new waffle. Well, not a new waffle maker, but
Yeah, we started using a new waffle maker today.
I think whatever I have planned for this week. Yeah, I gotta get facts. My bike is pretty much broken down. I have to get it taken care of, so I probably won't work this whole week. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. And then what else am I planning on this week? I want to buy a printer because Melissa's gonna start making clothes, so I want her to start getting the what is the pattern so she could print that out.
Why don't you take the picture from the house?
I thought about it today, and I was just kind of like, I think it's old for one, and it's kind of big. So that's my only reason I didn't take it. I want like a kind of compact one, but I might do that.
I mean, just in the meantime, something to have.
So I might do that. So I might go and get that, and I think that is. I'm trying to think of what else I have planned for this week. Let me check my stocks real quick just to see if my shits is.
Why are you trying to do that?
Because I mean, they said that the airlines are gonna start filling to capacity.
You know, my friend has been doing the
Forex.
Not Forex. He's doing like Robinhood, and he has like stocks in the airlines.
Last time I checked American Airlines, last time I saw it, it was at $12.
Yeah, I saw that too, but I'm checking it.
So I'm like, why are you looking?
Wait, I need to like.
American Airlines it's at 13 right now. That's kind of low. You said what?
I had to adjust a little bit.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think everything is down right now. Yeah, everything is down.
Coasters.
That is true. We do have plates. We don't have a coaster.
That's a coaster.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference?
A plate. It's a plate. A coaster is a coaster.
Oh, so you don't know what kind of plates I'm talking? Small plates?
You talking about the little small plates that you put your little teacup in? I know what you're talking about.
So what's the difference between that and a coaster?
I don't know. I just feel like a coaster is for.
So what if I told you that was a coaster?
It's not a coaster. It's a small plate for teacups.
All right. So today is June 30th. The podcast is starting at 10:55, and we have a guest on the podcast. So that's listen. People that know that have been listening to this is the 15th episode of the podcast. We were able to start early, clean the house, have a guest, and eat a little bit stuff before we started the podcast, and it started before 11 o'clock. So people who know, listen, I told you, things look different from the top, but underneath everything is no. Things look the same from the top. Underneath everything is different. So let's know that. I know that you want to talk about something. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Is the things that you said. I don't remember what you said. That's why I'm like.
Okay, so I was saying that I feel like black men should not date interracially, but I feel like it's okay for black women to date interracially.
Yeah, I wanted to talk. I definitely want to talk about that because that makes no sense. I don't.
It makes a lot of sense.
Why? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because okay.
I want to hear this. I'm very curious about this.
All right, because statistically, right, black women are the least desirable. There's a book. I read this book. It's called Is Marriage for Black People? Yes, that is the name of the book, and it has a lot of statistics in it. Anyway, statistically, like if you just, Google some statistics, like black women are like the least desirable, whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, black men tend to be the most desirable, which goes back into like, I guess, slavery. Black men and men of color are always hypersexualized, whatever. But it is what it is, like most desirable, right? So I feel like when it comes to a black woman, because we are statistically the least desirable, black women, we tend to be the most educated, most successful, whatever. But like, we just don't get married. And I feel like because of that, we should love who loves us because we just don't have as many options. Like me, well, not me personally, because I prefer to date black. But like, if the day comes and like some white man, God forbid, treats me properly and, he does all the right things. You gonna bring a white
person into this family?
Yeah, that wouldn't go over well with it.
No.
But you know what? I gotta love who loves me.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
What if he's racist?
He's not gonna be racist.
Why not? Because
he's only gonna be like 10% racist.
But he likes you, so it makes him not racist?
He's gonna be like 10% prejudiced.
But I feel like...
So like, we're gonna work on it.
What about those slavery type people who are like, well, she's the only one that's different. Like, she's the different one. She's not like the rest of y'all black people.
But then if that's the case, then that's not the person for me.
But he loves you.
Well, if he loves me, he wouldn't be racist.
But he loves you. He don't love black people. He loves you.
That makes no sense. I'm black.
Right. Do you ever see they have the black token person where they're like, oh, I have a black friend and this one is different
but
all the other ones?
I'm not going to be anybody's black token friend.
But you said
this is my
you
black
love
girlfriend.
who loves you.
I said I love who loves me, but I'm also saying that whoever loves me is not like, I'm not going to say, okay, whoever walks up to me on the street, if they act correctly, I'm going to go for it. No, whoever loves me would also be racially conscious.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so like I was saying, black men, on the other hand, they just, they're hypersexualized, they're most desirable, so they just tend to like date whoever, and then, us black women, very educated, very successful, get left to the side. And I feel like they should date, first of all, a lot of these people, we're going to talk about like black men and Hispanic women. I have a lot of Hispanic friends. I love y'all.
Female
but, like,
or male or both?
I have both.
Okay.
Yeah, I have both. But I just feel like, especially now, like with everything that's going on, it's coming to light that like a lot of, particular groups are not as progressive as
talking about white people?
No, I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about groups of Hispanic people, like Dominicans.
Okay.
Them, for example, they are like very racist. Like I would give you an example, like where I went to high school. I went to high school in the Bronx on Fordham Road, and my high school was predominantly Hispanic. I've been in the classroom before. I'm the only black person.
Really?
And somebody with crustier hair than me and darker skin than me is gonna call me La Negra. That's a problem.
Okay.
So I just feel like, I think it's the fetishization of Hispanic and other race women, and I think it also has to do with the fetishization of like wanting to want like mixed children. I think that's a big issue like within like for black men, because it's like, well, if I marry a dark-skinned woman, then like, or like a black, or let's say dark skin. If I marry a dark skinned woman, then like, what are my kids gonna look like? My kids aren't gonna be cute, which is like, I'm cute. So that's not true.
Yes, okay. I'll keep going. I'm listening.
And I also feel like black women are sexualized and not romanticized. So like I have a lot of friends, and this is also like you can look it up, research it yourself, read some books. But no, it's true because a lot of black men will like want to have a sexual relationship with black women, or they want to be friends with benefits with black women. But they will like when the day comes, they will ditch that situation to go be with some Hispanic girl or some white girl or some foreign, whatever you want to call it, type of girl. And it's like, we're not good enough. Black women are not good enough to be in a relationship, but we're good enough for you to have sex with. And that's not okay.
I feel like I don't know if I say I've experienced that. I definitely think I've seen that. I'm thinking about when I was younger. Because I remember there was a time when I was really young and I felt like, I can't remember if it was that black girls wanted to talk to me more and Spanish girls wanted to date me. And that's by talk to me and have sex with. And I feel like Spanish girls wanted to date me. So, okay.
I feel like you lying.
What?
I feel like you trying not to say that you was messing with a lot of Hispanic people.
Yeah, he was.
I was.
We as a family,
I'm not saying I wasn't.
We as a
that's
family.
not what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that I used to talk to a lot of black girls. I used to have sex with them. But I used to date mostly Spanish girls.
I feel like they were. I feel like you went for the happy medium. So they were.
What's happy medium? But I said no. But it wasn't that. It didn't start off like that. It started off Hispanic.
Like
mostly oldie Hispanic.
Remember that girl, Megan?
Yeah, she was Puerto Rican and Dominican. So it started and then there was a girl before that. Most of the girls I talked to were Spanish, but that's because my dad was talking to Spanish girls for most of the time I was there. So all the girls that he talked to were Spanish. So I'm like, all right. And I don't even think it was a conscious thing. I think this is what I believe happened. I think because he talked to Spanish girls or Spanish women and I was around Spanish women, I knew how to connect with them more. So when I go to the school, there's certain mannerisms that I might do that they might find attractive because I'm around Spanish girls and Spanish guys more often. Not guys, but around that environment more often. So they're like, oh, he's familiar to me. I understand that. So that they like me. So I'm like, that kind of used to happen. Now we're just like, oh, they like me. So all right, cool. Let's talk. Type of thing.
I was concerned, but I'm glad you fixed it.
You were concerned. You talking about dating a white person, and you was concerned. I've never considered.
I've never dated a white person.
I've never considered dating a white person. All right then. So you'll talk about Spanish. At least they're closer to black.
There are white Hispanic people.
They're closer to black than white.
That makes no sense.
Spanish people are closer to black. Than
Spanish from Spain are literally white people.
Oh my God,
Spanish.
Hispanic. You
Okay.
want to be freaking Hispanics, okay? Those people. But yeah, like I said, that's why I think for me personally, I talk to a lot of Spanish people because of that. I'm trying to think of.
I remember. Should I say this? Okay.
Sure.
So I remember, me as like a darker skinned black woman, right?
Hold on, before you finish that, 'cause I was thinking about it. I don't think you're that dark skinned.
I know. Well, people say that. People say I'm brown, but I feel like
Yeah, because I'm like
dark-skinned.
on the phone. I said it yesterday, and I'm looking at you. I'm like, you're not dark skinned to me. Like I don't consider
What's
you
that?
dark skinned.
You know, your dad used to say that. Your dad used to be like, I'm brown, and he was dark.
Yeah,
But I feel like
my dad's way darker than you.
I mean.
You guys look like you're the same.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like the same
Yeah,
color
but
as
I
you.
think, you know what I noticed, that like as you got older, you got darker.
I
Because you
definitely,
never used to be
yeah.
this dark.
I used to be like your color. Like your
Yeah,
color.
you never used to be this. You used to be more tan.
I used
for
to
sure.
probably play basketball a lot, but I'm like, I don't remember you ever being. I don't. Maybe the pictures are wrong. We had bad quality pictures before, but I'm like, you're not dark skinned. So I just think that's
I
funny.
think I am.
But you're not. Like you're not.
I think if we were to take a poll, can we do like a poll? Can we do
Sure.
like a Twitter poll? Can we do a poll? Storm.
And take a picture. Take a picture. You can post that on the.
I feel like
Yeah, right. Are these people dark skinned?
I think we are. I think I am dark skinned.
You're not dark skinned. I'm looking at your forehead and your cheeks.
My
Are you wearing
forehead?
makeup?
My cheeks? No.
You're not wearing makeup. Hey, Storm. All right, let me see. Okay.
I think I'm dark skinned. But whatever. I think, okay, if we as black people might not think I'm dark skinned, but I think societally, like if someone from the outside were looking in, they would think I'm dark skinned. But whatever. I think that's what I think.
Okay.
But my point being was that like I've never had, I think in my lifetime, which I'm also very bad at like gauging when people like me, like I'm really not good at that. But like I've had like I've had one Hispanic person, and when I say Hispanic, I mean like a like a lighter skinned Dominican person
Mm-hmm.
approach me, and I've had like one white person. That's it. Everyone else, I've never had an experience with like a non-black person.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay. So you think that women could date interracially, but black men shouldn't, and why is that? Because I've had to assume, is it based off of finances?
I don't think it's based off
heard
of
that
finances
before.
because black women tend to be more financially.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, what I've heard is that black men, because they have, what was it? I think because they have money, they should date black women because it helps to keep the money in the family.
But see, I've met a lot of black men who, like, for example, my friend, her cousin, just graduated law school, and like he's working or whatever, and her mom said to him like, oh, are you gonna be dating anytime soon? And he was like, I'm a black man with a law degree in Baltimore with no kids. Why would I settle down? Like, you're a hot commodity, right? Like, you're this rare like thing that all the black women want you, and all the women period want you. And I think that's an issue too, because it's like, for me and my friends, like, we're all educated, and like me being in law school, and I feel like, black men sometimes, and this is not just a black men thing, I think this is men in general, but black men specifically really have a hard time with like a woman who is successful, because they come at you with this,
You
like,
said black men specifically.
yes,
Okay.
they come at you with this, but what can I do for you? Like, you can do everything by yourself. Like, what can I do for you? And they don't understand the idea of like supporting me mentally and emotionally and like physically, and not monetarily. Like, I don't need your money. I need I need you. Like, I need who you are. And I feel like what happens is that like, they just run away. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to work on myself. I'm going to go like get better. And then like they end up with some girl who's like works at McDonald's. And like, if that's cool, if that's what you want. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working at McDonald's, but my point being is that like,
there is something wrong working at McDonald's.
Whatever. They bring themselves down because it's like they can't deal with the fact, like they can't handle like a successable black woman.
So this is my thing about that, right? Because I've seen that story a bunch of times where guys say they need to work on themselves. To get to a woman. They go, okay, look, you're at a certain place in your life, I'm not. I need to make sure that I get to a better place so I can deal or be with you, right? However, what I think that comes from is, and I'm pretty sure that if I had to assume you do the same thing, is that, speaking for women right now, not necessarily black women, that they seem to emasculate men subconsciously when they have more than they do. And I think that's where the problem comes in. Because, you seem like you disagree?
I do disagree, because this happened to me like I've only been in like one relationship, and this happened to me, and I'm regardless of how like strong and independent and whatever I am, and I could do battle by myself, I want like a man, like a stereotype, like I want that. Like I want a man that's a man that that allows me to be in a place where I can just be like, oh, I'm a woman. Yeah. And I want you to have that energy. Like I want you to carry yourself that way. Okay. I don't have an issue with that, and a lot of my friends don't have an issue with that either. But I think it's like a mental thing where these men convince themselves that they have to be this whatever because they're insecure. I think it's an insecurity issue.
I agree.
It's nothing that we do. There was nothing, I promise you, nothing that I ever did. The only thing that I didn't like was that he was very like, he didn't like, okay, my thing is this. If you're 30 years old, right? Because he's he's going to be 28 in August now, this particular person.
From before or from now? From before?
No, the person from before, the person from before. So the person I was in a relationship with. And it's like, if you are like at a certain point in your life, I feel like you can't just be like, I don't know, like you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna like quit my job and like be a firefighter, and then I'm gonna like go to school, and then I'm gonna be a personal trainer, and then I'm gonna like jump around and do circles. And like I had to realize that for me personally, like Hadassah Francis, that gives me anxiety, right? Like I can't have someone who is just so unsure of themselves. Like you can be like, I want to pursue my dreams and I want to do this and I want to do that, but like do it in a way that makes sense. Like have your job and do your business on the side until your business gets to a point where you can sustain yourself off of it. Don't just be like, I'm going to quit my job and then like you're asking me for money because you can't pay your rent or because you can't do things that you need to do. That's irresponsible and stupid.
Okay. So this is what I think. First of all, I don't think it's in any woman's job to, one, make a man, or two, have to lower herself to where he's at so they can be comfortable in a relationship. I don't think any woman should do that, because I think that the man, this kind of what we talked about last week, and when I said, okay, here's a scenario or a analogy, right? How do you feel about this? Women are water, right? And then men are, I have two different analogies with the same kind of concepts. Men are the containers that hold the water, right? Now, the man has to be strong enough to contain the water, right? And certain men or certain containers are not strong enough for that. However, women want to be contained, but it has to be by a man strong enough to do that. That was one analogy. What do you think about that one? How do you feel about those words?
I mean, I
understand
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I think it does make sense. It takes the right type of person, the right type of man.
So this is what I was saying too, that certain women would be, I guess, certain sizes of water, right? So you would be a larger size of water because you went to school, you've traveled, you're in law school, you don't need a guy to pay for anything for you, you have your own car, you have your own place, you have a dog. These are things that put you in a position of like, I don't need you to be there for me, right? So your water would be a lot bigger because you need, for a guy to be able to hold you, he has to be able to contain all of that stuff without breaking, which in this case, in the real world, we consider insecurity. So him breaking would be, okay, I can't be around her because I feel like I'm going to break as a man. But you need a guy who can still be around you and be able to go, okay, you still have all these things, I'm still going to be strong enough to hold you. Right? So, that would be a bigger body of water, so you need something bigger to hold that. Now, Melissa had a problem with the terminology in it. So one of the second analogy was that women are still water, but men are more so of think of like a slide, like if you go to a theme park. And the man's job is to kind of lead her, let her do what she does, but kind of lead her to go in a certain direction. So it's not like she's going all over the place. So they're still containing her in a sense, but he's not holding her down. He's not like making sure he can't go anywhere. She's like, he's pretty much keeping all that energy in a directed somewhere. So the problem to have with, okay, what do you think about that before I speak about that one? Which one do you gravitate to more?
I feel like I like the container more, but that's just because, like I said, like I think I'm the type of person that like I want to be in a relationship with a guy, and I'm not saying that this is okay, right? But like I'm very mouthy, right? I want to be with someone that I respect enough that if you tell me to shut up, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay,
listen, guys, you hear that, right? I want guys to...
But don't go telling people to shut up now. You might get attacked.
Listen, you look at me. What happened? You want to say something? You're a woman. Your input is very needed. You made a face.
Oh, because I'm just like, ooh, shut up. That's just some strong words. I'm like, I'm just going to be shut up. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
But you know what? I it's not like, okay, shut up, I'm gonna automatically be quiet. But it's like, if this person is telling me to be quiet, maybe I need to like be quiet and think for a second before I continue speaking. Like someone who has that energy that you would just be like, you know what? It kind of reins you in a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think, so with you saying that, because with you saying that, I lean more towards the analogy of the water slide, because it kind of keeps you in a certain direction. So like you said, because I think one thing I believe is that girls don't get punched in the face enough, right? I feel like girls have the tendency to say and do a lot of crazy things because the repercussions for those things aren't as big.
But it's because there's a lack of respect.
But that's
if you respect a person, like...
But what about somebody that you're not with? So I feel like a girl will be more likely to be screaming at somebody outside on the street because she feels like, well, what's going to happen? Nothing. Like, not she don't feel like that consciously, but she's done it in the past. Nobody has said anything to her, so she's going to keep doing that. Because if she goes outside and yells at somebody and nobody says anything to her, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to keep doing that. If she doesn't go outside and does it again, somebody punch her in the face, she might go, well, Last time I yelled at the customer, they punched me in the face. Let me consider if I want to yell
So
right now.
there's no consequences.
Right, there's no consequences. And I use punching in the face as an extreme version of that. There's no consequences for what they do. Right. So I feel like women tend to do more things. But I believe that most guys in their mind believe they can be physical consequences. An example of that, right? I was on a train one day and my bike was in the doorway to get onto the train, right? And it was a packed train. Now, a girl and a guy were trying to get on the train. They were running down the stairs to catch the train, right? Now, I made eye contact with him. He saw my bike in the doorway, right? But he knows he'd have to confront me about the bike to get on the train, right? So I saw him go, you know what? I'll go to the next door. I don't feel like doing that. But the girl's like, oh, excuse me, right? Now, if it's him, I might go, yo, bro, what's good? What are you doing? Right? But with her, I'm not going to hit her or attack her because she's a girl. But because of that, it reinforces that kind of mindset. So now whenever she comes to the train, excuse me, I gotta go. She start pushing through the people on the train. But me and him, I know he saw me. He's like, do I really want to go and be like, yo, bro, your bike's in the way? Now, some guys might do it. Some guys might not do it. But the fact that he had to think about it is what I'm talking about. I don't think that crossed her mind when she got to the train that this guy might push me with the train. He might beat me up for coming on the train, pushing past his bike.
But see, you never know because this is New York. So me personally, I don't get crazy with people outside, you know. But I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like that's like a homegrown thing. Like some people just are not taught to respect other people. Period. Me. And the people that I associate with, I'm not going to come at you that way unless you come at me with that type of energy. So if you're disrespectful to me, like if I'm trying to get on the train and I'm like, excuse me, and you're just standing there with your bike like I'm not moving, okay, now I'm going to be like, excuse me, like,
right?
What's the problem?
I get that.
But so I mean I think it's like a home training issue. Like I think some people just weren't raised in a way that they are taught to go out into the world and respect people in general. It's like you have to. I understand this idea of respect is earned, but you should not navigate the world in a way that you feel like you can just disrespect anyone because you don't know who people are. And then when you do get punched in the face, that's your fault.
Is, I think the problem is what constitutes a disrespect. Because, like I said, coming to the train, you're trying to get on the train. It makes a lot of sense. The train's about to close. You're running. You don't want to be late. You're trying to get onto the train. I'm standing there, right? That makes sense to just come onto the train as fast as you can.
Right.
But I don't think that they think. Cause I'm just talking about the thought of it. Do you think that, damn, this could turn into a fight? Like, how often do you think this could possibly be a fight? Now, am I ready to fight? Yes. I'm not ready to fight? No. Like, do you think about that, or do you just go?
Some people do, some people don't.
But that's what I'm saying. I think people who have been scenarios where it could be a fight more often think, all right, am I ready to fight this person for this thing? I'm not, or I am. And the other person's like, that's not even thought about. They don't think like one time with Melissa, right? Remember this time?
No.
Yes.
That's not even what happened.
Okay.
I already know what you're about to say. That's not what happened.
It is this.
So I'm going to explain what happened.
Okay, she'll tell you her side and I'll tell you exactly what happened.
So we were, okay, I was on Donovan's bike and we were riding down an alleyway or something like that. A side street.
Yeah.
And some white lady hit Donovan with her keys. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? Because I didn't really know what happened. I just heard the sound, and he didn't say anything. So then he's like, oh, are you going to fight her? I'm like, what? No. Like, what do you mean? And then that's basically what happened.
Okay, so that's her side of the story. So we're riding down the street, and the lady, I believe, is probably walking the street, not looking or whatever, right? So I go behind her, and I don't hit her. I guess I'm close to her. She's like, she might have yelled something. Did she yell something? Did she say anything?
She might have yelled.
I think she said something. And then she was swinging her keys, right? If her keys hit me, I'm wearing my jacket and I have on my backpack. So I don't really feel it. I heard the keys, but I don't feel anything, right? She's in front of me on the bike. So she sees the person swinging the keys or whatever, right? As we've already passed the lady, she looks over my shoulder and screams, What was that? What was that? To the person.
That's not what happened. I was asking Donovan what happened.
Okay.
And it wasn't.
Were you loud?
I was loud.
Now, if I'm sitting, the bike is this close. We're this close on the bike. Who was she yelling at? She not yelling at me because I'm sitting right here. She's talking to the lady.
I mean, sometimes you get excited or it's windy outside and you have to. I have a tendency to speak loudly, so I mean,
like I had no idea what was happening.
People always say I'm yelling.
She looked over my shoulder and was speaking loudly to this woman.
I was not speaking to the
right?
woman. I was
so
trying to see who it was while I was asking you a question.
Okay, loudly. Now this is what I asked her. I said, listen, are you gonna fight her? Because I'm like, you yelling like you want to get this bike and go fight her. I'm like, I can stop the bike. She's like, what? No, I don't want to do that. So I'm like, why are you yelling for? If you're not gonna be, if you gonna be yelling like that, then you need to go address the person that caused this issue. If you're not gonna be addressing it, don't be yelling for it. Ask me what happened. The person key might have hit me or something. She's like, oh, okay, cool. But you yelling, because I'm like, now this is what I'm saying. If it was a guy, right, and this has happened before, a guy will go, yo, what the fuck was that? The guy will come and go, you talking to me? Oh, and now he want to come after me because I'm yelling at him from far away. So I had to think about these things. It's a woman, it's not going to happen. But because I understand that these things can happen, I'm like, unless you plan on fighting somebody, you screaming and yelling like that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't do anything. So I'm like, all right, are you going to fight her? No, let's keep going. And don't reason for you to yell at her like that. Now, that will probably never be a fight. She might have been in her 30s, probably her 40s. And I'm just like, it's whatever. But I think the energy of the level that it got to shouldn't have gotten there, because that in a different situation could lead into something bad. So you have to be able to control that, and so that if something like that happens again, you're not screaming at the wrong person. Because they might be like, bitch, what the fuck you want? Now she gonna look at, I told her, I said, you gonna look at me. Now you want me to fight the lady, and I'm not fighting the lady because I ain't say nothing to her. Now I gotta fight a woman because Melissa yelling at her, and I gotta be like,
I was not yelling at her.
Okay.
My anxiety was up. I did not know what
That's,
happened.
yes.
I heard something. I'm asking what's happening. You're not answering.
Were you yelling?
You were not answering me. So I probably got louder. Because you did not answer me. The first thing that came out your mouth was, are you going to fight her?
I believe you asked the question like 3 times. Either way, I don't.
No answer.
But what would if I said, show me her keys?
Then I know what happened.
But there's no reason for you to yell. Yelling is unnecessary in that scenario.
I thought you did not hear me. You never responded to me.
Okay. Perfect. In that situation, you would ask, did you hear me? Yeah, I heard you. What did she hit you with? What happened? Oh, her keys, this, that, and the third. And here's the thing. I know you didn't ask it calmly, because when you get anxious, you don't ask things calmly.
I was anxious.
Right. So that's why I'm like not responding, because I'm like, I already know this is about, it's nothing.
But you're making it seem like I was anxiously yelling at the lady. I was trying to ask you a question and you thought I was yelling at the lady.
You were yelling at her because you looked over my shoulder. And then when I said, do you want to fight her? You were like, you got really quiet.
I literally did not know what was going on.
Okay.
I didn't see when she hit you with the keys.
Mm-hmm.
All I heard was something. I heard her say something, and I heard the keys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking to see what happened, and I'm asking what's happening, and I'm getting more.
Are you asking me loudly?
Yes, I'm asking loud.
Okay. That's why I believe that you were not talking to me, because I'm sitting right behind you on the bike. If we're in a car and you wouldn't be yelling at me and I'm sitting across from you if you're talking to me. Now, if somebody out the window in another car is doing something and you, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, what happened? I was talking to you. I'm like, you was talking to me? Why are you talking to me like that? The person, they can hear you too. You ain't talking to me like that. So regardless of the fact that I would bring that up, because I think that it tends to be a situation where women don't have that thought that comes into their mind that this can go somewhere bad.
But I feel like some women very well do have that thought, but they're like for example, the other day, me and my friend, something happened, and it was a specific type of person involved that she doesn't care for these particular people.
Are they women, or it's a type of people?
It's a type of people.
Okay.
And she was like, I was like, well, if such and such happened, she was like, I could fight.
Right. But where does that come? Where do you think that comes from? Has she fought before?
Yeah.
That's my point. So she's like, okay, if it comes to that, I'm ready to fight. So I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z because I know if they want to fight, we could do that. That's my whole point. Where it's like, listen, it could be, if I said to her, you want to fight? She go, I might have to. I'm like, all right, bet, let's go talk to her. Or you can address what happened, but don't scream like that, and don't, whatever your friend might have done in that situation, don't do that. Because maybe you'd have asked her whatever you said. She's like, well, I don't want to fight, but I'm going to get real mouthy with them. And now they come over here. Now you got to fight for her. You got to fight with her because she want to yell. And you're like, you don't even want to fight. You don't want to fight, she don't want to fight, but she yelling like she want to fight. And those kind of people I don't like being around, because it's like, that's how you get into problems. Because you go out to a bar with them, you go out to a party with them.
They're too staticky.
They want to get, and it's like, you want to be staticky, fine. But if you can't fight, don't be staticky. If the problem comes and now you're looking like, yo, I was just playing, fam. I ain't even, bro, my bad. I didn't even, don't do that. Don't do that. And I hate those kind of people. Those are the fake gangster people. But anyways, that's the analogy. So I feel like the purpose of the man is to contain the woman. And the reason another scenario or the flip side of that is that I think men are empty without women. I think that's why the container reference, because I think that men, we can be strong, but we're easily swayed when we don't have a woman to hold us down, which would be the water scenario, where like the water holds you down. But I feel like a guy can do a lot, but if you on an emotional level, internally, something is missing there. And I think that you have to be with a woman to have that. Because I know when I'm with Melissa, I feel a lot different than when I'm by myself. Like if I'm working and going to ride my bike and I don't have a girlfriend or a girl I'm talking to, I feel like I'm like a zombie. It's almost just like, all right, yeah, you just going throughout the day. You just going, you're like, all right, here we go, back to the job, come back home. Now I gotta make money. Okay, I don't smoke, but go and do this smoking thing. It's this. I'm trying to find something to fill that void, right? Where it's like I don't have nothing there. So I'm like, okay, I get a girlfriend, and it's like, oh, okay, like that energy. I don't feel as empty when you have somebody to share those things with, as opposed to coming home every day and there's nobody there. I don't know if women have that necessarily.
I go home every day and there's nobody there.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Do you think it feels better? Do you feel better when your boyfriend but not boyfriend is there, as opposed to when you're there by yourself?
There we go. I feel fine either way.
But which one would you prefer?
I mean, see, I'm the type of person where it's like, if I'm with you, for example, right? Like this past weekend, I'm home, right? I was with him on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? And yesterday, like last night, we were talking and he was saying something, and I was like, oh, but maybe it's like too much. Like maybe.
See, time out. Well, this is some game right here I'm to tell you, right? Okay, boom. I can hear it already. Here's what I'm about to tell you. She wanted him to stay more, right? This is what I'm assuming, right? I'm gonna tell you what I think. And she was saying these words to verify if it was okay with him that he stays more. Okay, what are you gonna say?
That has nothing to do. Nobody was staying anywhere because we were on the phone. I was in my house.
Yes.
He was in his house.
Okay.
So we were just talking, and then he was saying something about like hanging out today, and I was kind of like, we've been together from like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like maybe it's too much.
See, time out. That's what I just said. Staying more time together. The fact I'm not talking about you guys have to stay in the same apartment. I'm saying that you want to spend more time with him, but you didn't want to feel like you were overbearing. So you're like, we spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday together. You sure Monday's not too much? That's what I think that you were. See, exactly.
But I really meant that though. Like maybe it is too much. Like I'm chilling. Like I don't care either way.
See, exactly. Regardless of that, she wanted to spend Monday with him, but she had to go. Is it okay with you that we spend Monday together? I just want to make sure that it's like okay. And he said, "What?" He's like, "It's cool. I don't have a problem with that, right?"
Yeah, but I was like, I don't feel like going outside today.
Hey, you want him to come to your house?
No, I want to be in my house, and I want him to be in his house, and we could talk on the phone.
I don't believe you.
I know you don't believe me, but I'm being honest.
So okay, what was the? You said that you guys spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday together, right? Now you guys are on the phone Monday. Okay, now on Monday you're saying that y'all are on the phone talking about what? Hanging out again?
No, we was just talking.
So
we was talking about what we did the last 3 days.
And you're saying that it was too much. You're saying what would have been too much?
I'm just saying, like, I was like, oh, we spent a lot of time together. Mind you, we were also together last weekend.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The weekend before that, he came to visit for like 4 days,
okay.
4 or 5 days. So I was like, I don't know if it's too much because at the end of the day, we're not in a relationship. So I don't know if it's too much. Like, I'm trying to make sure that
See,
the boundaries are clear.
These are words that, you're trying to make sure. You're trying to make sure what?
I'm trying to listen because I don't know what's happening. I mean, I know what's happening, but I don't know what's happening. I don't know. So I'm just like, listen, like, are there boundaries? Like, are we in a relationship but not in a relationship? Like, that's the type of, we doing a situationship type of thing where we're going to spend all our time together. But, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to feel it out still. I got to see what's happening. So I'm like, all right, boundaries, like we can't get too attached now.
Okay.
We already very attached. We gotta chill out,
So I'm gonna come back to that specific part. I just want guys to understand this when you're talking to a woman, right? When I was talking to women, I run a game. There were no boundaries as far as if she felt like there was too much time being spent together, right? You as a guy. As a woman, if she likes you, she wants to spend time with you, which is in the case here. So she wants to be around you all the time. You have to be okay with, you have to be able to understand that that's what she wants. So as far as her trying to figure out, well, is this like a situationship? Like, I was with you last week. Is that too much? That means, I'm assuming that means that it's not a knock on him or anything like that. But he would have to let you know that that's perfectly safe and fine to feel that way and act like that, because you, like you said earlier.
But we've already had those discussions. It's just more of a me thing because I'm very protective of myself, because that's just the way I am. Like, I'm very defensive and I'm very protective of myself. So it's a me thing because we've already had, like, we're like, so why communication.
Okay, but why is this combo happening if you already talked about this before?
Because because that's just I don't know. That's just what I do. I do that sometimes. You know, I just need, like, tell me again. You know what I mean? Like, let me hear you say that shit. That's all.
So, okay, this is what I was saying for guys, because this happens a lot of times with girls and guys in relationships. When a girl likes you, they don't want to be in a situation where they feel like I'm about to be played, or, okay, we're talking, but then you might disappear. And I heard this a lot, that guys disappear on women, which I think is very corny. I think if you stop talking to a girl, say I'm done talking to you, or whatever the case might be. Just say, look, I'm done. She want to cry about it, fine. She want to beg you to come back, that's fine.
Okay, let me give you an example. So we were having a conversation the other day, right? And I was saying that, like, for me, being in this situation, like, I don't mind it. Like, I'm cool because I don't really want to be in a relationship, because once school starts, like, I'm going to disappear.
It's not true.
I already know that. Shut up.
This is not
It
true.
is true.
It's not true.
It's true. Let me tell y'all, don't go to law school. It's very hard. You're just going to disappear and talk to nobody. So anyway, so I'm like, I already know that, like, I like my space, just the same way I was saying, like, it's too much. Like, I just wanted to be in my house by myself. Like, I didn't want to do anything yesterday. I mean, I did my work from home stuff, but, like, I didn't really want to go outside. Like, I was outside 3 days in a row. That's a lot for me. That's a lot. But anyway, we were having this conversation, and it was something to the effect of, like, we were talking about our past relationships, right? And I was saying that for me, like I previously stated, I've only ever been in one relationship, right? Like, I've had maybe, like, okay, I had a relationship that turned into, like, a situationship, or, like, a friends with benefit, or whatever you want to call it. And then my senior year of college, I had, like, a friends with whatever you want to call that. So I feel like, from my perspective, it's frustrating, right? Because it's like, is this, like, my role in life? Like, am I always supposed to be the friends with benefit? And so we're having this discussion, and he's like, and we're talking, and I'm saying, you know, like, because at the end of the day, like, we're not together, right? So if I decide tomorrow I want to do whatever I want to do, and vice versa, like, that's okay. Like, neither of us could be upset with that. But then he's like, I don't want to do what I want to do. Right. So I'm like, okay, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Well, I feel like I already crossed that bridge, and I already know what I want to do.
Yes, and this is the problem that a lot of guys have to deal with girls. It's this personality that's happening right here, right? She wants to be in a relationship, okay? She's putting up walls to protect herself from getting hurt by this guy, right? Oh, I'm going back to school. It's just too much time we spending together. She's trying to be the person that's putting the container on herself. That isn't supposed to be her job. That's supposed to be his job as the guy to do that. She's supposed to be able to do whatever she feels like doing, and then he goes, listen, right here, that's too much. That right there is too much. Nope, that's too much.
But the problem is that, like, nothing is too much.
What do you mean nothing is too much?
So, like, nothing is too much.
He has a big container.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's like, you're like, wait, I can do all of this stuff and feel free. I got all this space in here. Oh shit, I could call you every day. I could, like, talk to you on the phone. We could, like, go and do things, and you're not gonna be, like, weird about it. That's what you're not used to. You're used to being all this water in a little tiny container. You're like, damn, it's kind of cramped in here. Every time I call you twice, you complained about me calling you. I hung out with you on Friday.
I'm also not that type of person. Like, and okay, because let me
what kind of person?
Let me explain. No, because I'm not the type of person that's gonna call you all the time.
That's
like, I'm
an
a very
example.
natural.
That's why
I
I'm
understand.
not. That's
I understand. But okay, I think also part of the problem is, I realized this recently, is that the other situationships that I've been in, I did not like the person.
Okay.
I did not like them, so it didn't matter. Like, I wasn't trying to spend time with them. Like, this relationship has a purpose. Okay.
What's the purpose? The
purpose is, you know, you have needs, I have needs. We're gonna come to
when you in now.
No.
Oh,
I'm
before.
talking about previously.
Okay.
The purpose is, it's like, I didn't like these people. So it's like, I didn't care, because it's like, I had zero interest in ever being in a relationship with you. It's like, this is this for right now. Like,
are you saying that every guy before this guy was like that?
I mean, I was in a relationship, but I don't think I liked him.
And you realized this afterwards?
Yeah.
So then, and you liked him when you was with him?
No, I didn't. I think it was one of those situations where like he was there, right? And then like everyone around me was like, Hadassah, nothing is wrong with him and he likes you and he wants to be with you, so what's the problem? And eventually I was like, okay.
Okay, is this the guy that I'm familiar with?
Which one?
The one that, not this one, the other one that's like him, but not him? There's one guy before this.
Yes, that one.
This
That's
that
the
one.
only one.
Okay,
Yes.
so we talked about this before, okay? You liked him. So I don't know why you try to act like you didn't like him. You liked him, okay? I don't know
But
why.
I don't think so, because now that I'm reflecting on it and I like am speaking to someone who is like not emotionally stupid and retarded.
Doesn't mean that's.
I'm sorry,
that's,
I don't know if we're supposed to say
that's
retarded.
irrelevant. You can whatever. That's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, maybe now you don't like him, or
Right.
what he did before. Like, you know what? I don't like that. But
Right.
in 2000, whatever year that was, you liked him.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in that time frame when you liked him. So in that,
I was just dealing with it, but I didn't realize
this
because I
is-
don't have the knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge then that I have now to be like.
but that's
ooh.
irrelevant. That's hindsight. I'm talking about if you took you and you went back to yourself then and you looked at yourself, you like that guy.
Okay.
Right, without the contrast of who you're talking to now, he was
Right.
But
without the contrast.
right,
Yes.
but you liked him. So my point is, when you were with him, he did things that made you feel uncomfortable about you expressing how being more of a woman, whatever that was. Let's say these are examples, these are not specifics. If you called him 3 times, he might start acting weird. You may call him 3 times, he don't answer the phone. You call him, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta go.
But see, I think the issue with like we had a lot of issues, mostly pertaining to him.
Okay.
But I feel like part of the issue is that like that's not my personality. Like I was never the type of person to be like, oh, like if you say to me, okay, I'm gonna go here with my friends, I'd be like, okay. I'm not gonna be like, who you going with, what time you come home. Like I don't care. Like do what you gotta do, because I genuinely live by the philosophy of that. If you go and do something that you're not supposed to do, I will find out about it eventually.
Yes,
I'm
feel
not
like that.
saying I'm never gonna, but I'm not gonna stress over it, because a relationship is not gonna work without trust. So I was just never that type of person. All I literally wanted was for you to like call me once a day and text me throughout the day. That's it. I'm good.
Okay, that's
But like, you know.
okay. That's perfectly fine. The point I'm making is that the guy you're with now allows you the space to do what you just said. He allows you space to talk once a day and text throughout the day, without it being weird. The other guy, did you guys do that?
What?
Did you guys text or call once a day and text it throughout the day?
I mean, yeah, but it would be like when I'm talking to him, it would be like talking to a wall. So it's frustrating because he's emotionally retarded.
Okay, fine.
So it's like I'm talking to you, I'm trying to have a conversation, and you're just like.
So
yeah.
his barrier is his inability to have the conversation.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. There are things in place that you're like, okay, let's talk. And let's say, perfect example. You go, I want to talk to you. He goes, about what? And you go, you say, I want to talk about dogs. He's like, I don't know about dogs. That's a barrier. His barrier is too small.
Right.
You can't have a conversation with him because all he can talk about is these small things.
Right.
The guy you're with now, his container is so much bigger. You have space to talk on the phone for hours and hours and hours. You have space to enjoy the conversation. You have space to talk to him. You can talk to him 3 days in a row and hang out with him 3 days in a row. Talk to him on the 4th and 5th day, and they don't feel like it's doing too much because he has enough space to contain all the stuff that you know, things that you do, and be able to deal with you emotionally, where you don't feel like, okay, I cried now. I feel like I can't cry around him now because it turns into a big thing whenever I cry. But pretty much that's what I was talking about. As far as dealing with a guy, he has to be like that. So I think because Melissa didn't like the idea of the container because she felt like, I don't think she liked the idea of being contained by a guy. I felt like she wants to be. She didn't like. I think I'm gonna use the word. What reason did you not like the container? Do you remember why you wasn't feeling that term?
I don't think it was the container that was the problem. It was the whole sentence. It was something about the sentence that was off.
But yeah,
It seemed like either the guy is not in charge, but yeah, it was something with the submissive. I don't really remember which part.
Yeah, I remember being like, she didn't like the idea of the guy containing the woman. That was her thing. I remember. That's what I remember. But that's that part. Now, as far as before, when you was talking about with black guys dating white women and then black guys dating black women, have you ever had any gay experiences with a woman?
No.
No, never kissed a girl. Never did no freaky deaky stuff.
I did kiss a girl once, but I was like really drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an accident. But like I
You
didn't.
fell on her?
No.
Cause I'm like, it was an accident.
No,
you
it
tripped?
was an accident because you know, like if you're doing like a hookah or something, and you try to like blow the smoke into the other person's mouth.
I
Yeah.
don't, but I've but because I'm like, so then you guys tap kissed?
Yeah, it was like.
It was like, and then that was it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more.
It was no, it was not.
Okay, all right.
It was an accident.
The reason I'm asking this question,
But I've never had like no. Mm-mm.
okay, this is the reason I'm asking the question, because I feel like girls who are in positions of power, and I consider you that because you have a dog, you have to be in charge of your dog. You have a car, you have to have power over your car to drive your car. You have your own place. You're going to law school, so you're educated. You've traveled, so you can talk about multiple things. You graduated college already, right? You graduated from college, right? All of these things, I believe, make you a dominant person, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that tends to subtract submissive people who tend to be women, right? And so what I've noticed is that people who are in your position tend to date or talk to women or don't talk to anybody at all, because it's like, okay, they attract a lot of girls, and if they're like, I don't really want to deal with girls, I'd rather be single, because they take care of themselves already anyways, right?
Yeah, but I think that's strange because it's like, just because I'm like a dominant personality, I don't want to be the man.
I know,
in
but
a
this is the thing though. The circumstances put you in the category that few men are there. So what you have to choose from is very small. So the guys that you would get, like let's say the emotionally retarded guy, right? He can deal with women who are not on that same level, and they would be
have to be stupid.
But that's the thing though. Stupid to who? Because let's say you're on level. Let's say from
Stupid
one.
is stupid.
Not really, because if you talk to like a scientist about something that you have no idea about, you'd be considered stupid to him or her, whatever the case might be. But that's only in that situation. Now, depending on where you are in that totem pole, if you're higher on a totem pole, everybody under you will be like, I don't know, I've never traveled, I've never been to eat this kind of food, I've never experienced this, I've never been to college, I never had a dog, I don't know anything.
But see, I don't know, because like, okay, like the person that I speak to currently, he's never he's been to places, but like he hasn't traveled like a lot. Like,
Has he traveled more than the last guy?
See, the last person traveled because he was in the reserves, so it was like.
So it doesn't really count.
I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not as much. It's not. Is he?
It wasn't for pleasure. Though,
so they send him to a place, and he's there, and he comes back.
Right.
So either way, that's only one component of it, regardless. But what I'm saying is, so when you have a person like that, the guys who are in that category, in that space, tend to decrease. So they go, okay, like you said, black women tend to be in that space. So you have a lot of women who are now successful, educated, and who are doing their own thing. It's like, okay, I look around, there's a lot of women up here. I see one guy over there, and he's white. There's a guy over there, he's Asian. And it's like, okay, damn, I don't really want to be with them, but I don't really want to be with a woman either. And the guys that I could date, like you said, now the black guys who are up there, they want a white woman, they want a Spanish woman, they want an Asian woman, they want these things.
Or they just don't want to be tied down at all because
so
they
feel
like they can have all the options.
Right, but now the pot gets smaller and smaller. So now you look around and go, okay, damn, I got to go back down to level 9. I got to get me a guy from level 9 because everybody in level 10, I can't talk to them because those different problems. But now you have to be in a situation where you are compromising what you want in a person because everybody in your space has a problem. If you go to level 9,
that's a mistake, though.
But
you should never do that.
That's what I'm saying. So the
I
other
think
option is
that's
you be
what
single.
I did, and I just was like,
right, or you become single and for your whole life. And and I don't believe any girl wants that. I think girls say that. I don't mind being. I don't think they mind.
Yeah, I agree with that because me and my friends say that all the time. Like, I'm just gonna be single. But it's like, do you really want to be single? No, bitch. But what choice do I have?
Right,
you know?
and that's what I'm saying by circumstance. But I think I know other girls who, by circumstance, become gay because it's like, well, ain't nobody else here. And I don't mind talking to a girl. I mean, like I said, maybe that's not your thing. But there are girls who go, I don't really care. I'll talk to a girl. It's whatever.
I don't think you become gay by circumstance. I feel like you like women.
Wait.
Then you like women.
So
it's
wait,
not
hold
a
on.
circumstantial thing.
So if you're okay, let me ask you this: if the girl's doing gay things, you think that she's already gay before that, or do you think that she became gay by what she's doing?
I don't know, because I don't really know how, like, and I don't want to sound ignorant by saying this, but I don't really know, like, how homosexuality works.
It's not real. You put that out there.
I really just don't know.
Homosexuality is not real.
I know there are a lot of people who are like, I've known I was gay since I was 4 years old, or I knew I was in the wrong body since I was 4 years old, and I just, assimilated because I felt like that was, like, maybe deep down they always liked girls or women, and they just didn't have the opportunity to explore that. I don't think it just came out, like, I don't know. I don't think it's circumstantial. But like I said, I can't speak on that because I don't identify that way. So I just don't know.
That's why I was curious about you, if you've seen that. How any of your friends go through that? Mm-mm. Okay, so that's something that I've seen.
I've never seen that. This is the first time I've heard of it.
Well, now that you know, because
I'm gonna pay attention.
Yeah, you haven't been a lawyer yet. So when you become a lawyer, I think you might start to hear these conversations more often when they're up to the point. Because I'm like, you're not. I don't know if you're making money. I don't think you are. Are you making money right now?
No, I'm poor.
So okay, so if you were making $5,000 to $7,000 a week, that would put you in a different category, where it's like, damn, like how a guy like another thing too. But I
feel like, okay, so like for example, when I was in that relationship, like I was working, I was making like decent money, and I was just doing my own thing, and I feel like he did not make as much money as me, but like I didn't care. But I feel like he would just be like,
but it's not. That's what I'm saying. I think girls get hung up on. Well, I didn't say to him, I make more money than you. I didn't say you're poor ass bitch. It's not that. It's when you go, damn, I'm thinking about going to
but you can't go
Hawaii. And he's like, oh. See? There you go. Boom. Now every guy that just saw this is going to be like, damn, that's why I can't date a black woman, because they don't want me to go to Hawaii with them. Now, you should not pay for him to go. That should not be something that you have to do. If you want to, that's fine. But I think that it's small things like that make it a guy feel uncomfortable, where they're like, I can't even go with her. She's talking about, she can go with her friends. She want to buy this new bag. She's talking about Christmas coming up. She want this new thing for Christmas. I can't get none of that shit. Like, because now think about this. Let's say, what's something you want right now? Something that you want to buy for yourself. That might be kind of expensive.
Amazon list.
Give me something. Give me one thing. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, boom. I'm gonna go with your car. Let's say you want to get your.
Yeah, you know what? I want a Jeep Wrangler. Okay, that's what I want.
We're gonna come back down from that. Let's say you're talking about you want to get some new tires on your car, right? Yeah, ooh, these new tires came out. I want these new tires for my car, right? The tires cost $700 for each tire, right? Now you could get that maybe if you save for 3 months. That might be something he can do for the whole year. For the whole year now, he can save every week. You put money aside to buy you a new tire, and you that's a 3-month thing for me. So now to him, it's a huge thing. But to you, it's like, oh, you bought me some tires? Like, I appreciate it, but it's not a Christmas present. Like, I didn't want this for Christmas. I just wanted this to I needed some new tires. But for him, he's like, I saved up every week for the whole year to buy some tires. But you see? And just like that.
No, but I would appreciate it. I think I mean, I don't know. Like, I would appreciate something like that. I really would. Because it's money that I don't have to spend.
Yeah, but I think that to you, it's not a big thing. So if you're gonna save up for 3 months to buy something, and he takes up and buys you food for Christmas after the whole year, and he's like, I got you this thing, and you're like,
tired.
You're like, thank you. Yay, I got these. I'm so happy for these things. Because you, it's like, I just want some new tires for my car. It's not a big deal. I need new tires. I'm gonna buy them. But for him, it's like, it's Christmas. For Christmas, I'm buying these tires. For my birthday, get her these tires. And I think it's little things like that, things that you don't even think about in your regular day, that go to a guy and go, damn. In his ears, like, fuck, I can't even buy her fucking tires. I can't even go with her on vacation.
But
she wants to go out to eat.
That's an insecurity issue. I don't make you feel that way. You make yourself feel that way.
That's a fact. And I'm not saying that you should change what you're doing. I'm saying that is what happens with guys. It's 100% insecurity. Right, 100% insecurity. Now, an actual or consult with me. I can tell you how to fix that. A real guy understands that you don't need money to be a man around your woman. But men don't know how to do that. Men feel like, I said this in the last podcast, episode 14. I said this in the last podcast, where it's like, you have to have dominance over your own life. That is what girls find attractive. You have to be able to say, I want to do this. I'm going to be here at this time. I say I'm going to have this job by this day. I'm there. I'm going to work hard for this. These are things.
Stability. It's literally that. It's stability.
Of who?
Of a man being stable, period.
Yes.
There are a lot of unstable black men
Yes.
in
Another
the
thing
world.
too.
A lot of bummy.
I know a lot of guys who are, and this is how a lot
I'm
of
not
guys
your
get pussy.
mother.
I'm gonna come to that sort of. A lot of women, and I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that comment she just said. Watch her reaction to this, right? A lot of guys I know, right, who women really, really like, the women will buy them all types of shit. And it ain't nothing about being a man or a mom or a bitch or anything. When a woman really likes you, she'll pay for you to go to Hawaii. She'll buy you a car. She'll spend all kinds of money on you, and there won't be no problems. The problem is when you feel like, damn, I want her to buy me this. She should buy me this for me. Listen, I have situations. I'm not really that person. Girls offer me, I usually say no. But I know a lot of people who will just accept all the things, and it's like, that's fine. Listen, I tell people to do it, whatever. But I want people to understand that women have no problem buying things for you if you know how to accept it without being insecure. Yeah, I was gonna say that first. Being insecure about it. That's where the problem comes in. You have to go, okay, thanks, babe. I appreciate you bought me this. Not, oh my god, I'm so happy you got this for me.
Right.
I'm
like, are you my child? Like, what is that?
Right, exactly. The girl wants to feel like, oh my god, this something. I said the girl wants to feel like that. See, the girl does not want the guy to feel like that. So that's that part of it. I just give them a little snippets of that. We still didn't touch on the thing that's really most important to me about this. Guys dating, guys should not date Spanish women.
Absolutely not.
And why is that? I'm still like,
black men?
Yes, black men, but black women can.
The issues between the black and the Hispanic community.
Interracial. It don't have to be Spanish. It don't have to be Hispanic. It could be.
Okay, because I was gonna say that is like a deeper issue.
So that's too specific. But I'm talking about interracially dating. You feel like a woman should be able to date interracially, but a black man should not.
Right.
And why to the black man?
And I'm not saying it's ideal. I'm not saying it's ideal.
Right. I'm just asking you why is that your preference? Why do you think that should be more?
I already explained to you.
I know, but I want like a sentence so I don't remember all the stuff you said before. So like, what is it? Like the main reason that you say, okay, black women shouldn't date interracially and black men should not.
Because black women should love who love them. Because not as many people love black women as many people love black men.
Okay. So one of the things I want to do...
Black men do not ride for black women the way black women ride for black men.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like... I don't fall into that category, so it's hard for me to know. But I do have... Funny enough,
But you used to date a lot of Hispanic women.
They were half black, though. A majority of them were half black. Only one of them was Spanish. Only one person I've ever dated was Spanish. Everybody else was half black. Tati was half black. Sade was half black.
Yeah, that bitch was.
Yeah, who else? Who was my girlfriend? Who was my girlfriend? Oh, I dated this girl who lived on the block. Her name was Erica. She was Puerto Rican and Jamaican, so she was black. Everybody was half black. That's just what it was. Now that I'm with a girl who was blackity black. She all the way black. She got black everything. So it's cool on this. It's cool on this side.
He's looking out the window. He likes to see outside.
Yeah, no, I enjoy looking at dogs looking out the window. Oh, Melissa, can you grab me a water? I don't know where it's at. It's on the floor. Yeah, where is it? I took it out the fridge. I don't know if maybe it's over there. Yeah. I feel like something else I want to ask you about too. It was about. What was the other thing you said that you had wanted to talk about that you felt like? I'm still on this. I don't know. Cause the problem I have. What? You gonna talk? What are you gonna say?
So do you have a response to it? I don't think you gave it.
That's what I was thinking about now. Cause I'm like, my problem is that I don't think that a lot of what. I'm thinking because this is my problem. I don't think that a lot of black people or black men are.
I think part of it, like when I talk to some black men about this, they say that like they felt like it's that whole thing that like Donald Glover said about like black women don't like weird black men.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
It's not true at all. Like, I like weird people. I've realized that I do. And, like, I don't see... That's just a cop-out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like...
But they feel like because one black woman, like, once upon a time was like, oh, you're too weird for me. I don't like you. You're doing too much. Now all black women are bad.
I don't know what they think is weird.
I don't know, because weird is a spectrum, I feel. But, like, everyone is weird.
It's not... Yeah, it's... If I had to assume what a weird black guy would be, it would just be a guy that doesn't have...
Like Carlton.
Swag.
Well, what's swag?
So I've been kind of trying to figure this out. I think swag is idea of acting different than what mainstream would be, and I think that being weird is on the spectrum of mainstream, and I think that's the problem. So I think like if you come in, if like a white mainstream person would be acting weird, like with that. Maybe I'm trying to think of how they would dress somebody that would be quirky and black. Maybe somebody like what's his name? Not Donald Glover. The other one, not Chance. The other Tyler.
Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, I feel like
he's a strange one.
Right. He falls into the category of that, and he does things that can be seen as quirky. But I feel like black women put down the spectrum of being mainstream quirky,
right?
As opposed to like, man, he's just quiet, or he does things, but he's still black. I think that somebody Tyler Creator, they put him on like like he's kind of like a weird white guy,
or like Jaden Smith.
Right, exactly. People like that. People fit into that category where it's like, yeah, they're black, but it's something about them that they fit into that almost what is that? Like, what's that? Preppy schoolboy / a spectrum of the preppy schoolboy.
I don't think it's that. I think it's like that mainstream thing now where like it's okay for like men to wear like black nail polish. It's like that weird like I'm straight but I'm queer kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's that. It's like I'm straight but I do like things that would be stereotypically homosexual.
Yeah.
Because I think oh, I thought that was my shoe. I think that's what it is.
I'm trying to think of people I know that would be considered.
Because that's like that's very it now for like men to wear like.
I think I know what it is too. I think it also falls into
kilts.
What?
Because I don't know about that. I don't know. Because you be doing gay stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna tell you the difference is. I think the difference is that they don't have the other side of it where it's like, yo, you're doing too much. I don't think they have that. I don't think Jaden Smith is putting girls like, yo, you wildin'. Like, I don't think that they're doing all of the wear black nail polish and
you know who's another one?
Do
you know who?
Dennis Rodman?
Yeah,
Dennis Rodman.
Exactly.
Or there's a Lucas Shabbat, I think
I've heard his name. I know him.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he looks like though, but I think that's the problem. I think that's a problem where it's like, yeah, you can be quirky and stuff, but like if you start being mouthy, like Hadassah said, and the girl still be mouthy, and he's like, well, I don't want to say nothing to her. I think
but see, they're not like that. I feel like they will still put you, and it's like
that's the problem.
It's an energy. It's that thing where they say it's like big dick energy. Like it's your energy, right? Because you could be as weird and as whatever as you want, but you still have to possess that energy. If you are weird and whatever, but you don't possess that energy, I'm not interested. If you're weird and you possess that energy, cool. I don't care. Be who you want to be.
That's my whole point, and that's why I'm like, you have to have both sides. You can be, as I said in the last podcast, you can be as flamboyant as you want to be. You can be as gay. You could be as queer. You could be you could wear a dress and a thong. You can do all of those things, but when the girl starts doing things that's crossing the line, if you don't do something about it, that's when it becomes a problem. Now it's like, oh, I could just walk all over you, and that's where the problem comes.
That's what most women don't.
Right, and it's like you come in the house, and he's wearing a thong, he's cooking pancakes or some shit, and you like, that thong don't fit you. He's like, yeah, I was thinking about getting a black one, but the purple one kind of matches my skin tone. But then it would be weird to anybody else. But when y'all go outside and she starts acting up and he checks her, you go, oh, that's why she like him, because of that part of it. I didn't even think about that. But they go home and he's doing right. It's cool, but you can't wear the purple thong in the house. Go outside, your girl starts wilding the street, and you go, can you? People can hear you. Can you just like?
Not? Like, nigga, what the fuck?
You're gonna be like, okay.
I'm gonna do whatever.
And then he'll say it's because, and this happened in that show. What's his name?
Oh,
Love is Blind happened in that show where it's like, okay,
I didn't watch that.
It's stupid. But
I couldn't.
There was one scene that I thought was that I liked. It's where because it shows exactly what I'm talking about now, where the guy had said he was gay. It went viral. I don't know. You might have seen the viral.
Oh
yes,
the one where and then he started talking about her wig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's the problem. Where it's like you want to be
he
gay.
automatically turned into a
black. Well, I'm gonna say a black woman.
But he just automatically started to possess that feminine energy.
Right.
And I think that was wrong. I think
and it was in the wrong. I think he did it at the wrong time. I think that was time for him to be. I think this is what I think happened in Nick. I don't know if you watched the whole thing or saw that whole part. They had a situation where they first had a date, right? And he's gay, but he never told her he was gay. So they had a date.
But is he gay or is he bisexual?
Bi. Let's go with bi. But he never told her that he was into guys or talked to guys or whatever. So they went on the first date, right? On the first date, he was doing all the stereotypical, and I don't even call it stereotypical, but what he thought a guy would be. He had a chain on, he had a hat on, like a fitted, he had like a short sleeve shirt. He's like sitting there like this, yo, girl, give me that water. Yo, go over there, fuck. Yo, what? I ain't doing that shit. Fuck out of here. He doing all of that, right? And she's like, he's being kind of weird. Like, why is he acting like that? Like, it's not even like he was
doing too much.
Right. He was trying
trying too hard.
He was overcompensating for what he thought a man would be or what he would like, right? So then they have another date, and they go outside, and he's like, it's something I want to tell you, but I know people always judge me for it, so I don't ever say anything about it, and I just don't feel like I should tell you because everybody...
But see, weren't they already engaged at that point?
Yes.
That's the problem.
But I mean, it's not really engaged. Like, it's like, come on.
Whatever the case may be. I don't agree.
That isn't the problem.
But what do you think the problem is?
I just don't agree with, and I get, like, there are a lot of people who are... of the LGBTQ plus community.
You forgot 6 letters, but go on.
Who feel like it's okay to not tell people certain things. If I just the same way I'm heterosexual, right? I have every right to not be attracted to a bisexual man. Mm-hmm. Just the same way you have a right to be attracted, a man has a right to be attracted to a man and a woman. You can't force that on me. And I get what people are saying about, but it's the person, it's the this, it's the that. I'm not pansexual. I am heterosexual. That means I want to be with a man who likes women, period. And I'm entitled to that. And if you... present yourself in a way falsely, right? That's like, I'm trying, and then you tell me after that's not okay. That's not okay because I don't have to be okay with that.
I think that's the only problem. I think that what happened.
Well, I was gonna say in their situation, I don't even necessarily think that was a problem because I think she probably would have been fine with him being bisexual.
Right. I think this is what I believe.
It was his insecurity with himself.
I think all girls would talk to a guy who's bisexual, right? And I say all because I'm not talking about the 1.00% of people. I'm not talking about them. And whoever thinks they're that percent, you're probably not. Because you probably talk to guys who are into guys too. What I'm saying is, as I was saying, so when he was on a second date, right? He's like, yeah, this is how he's telling her that he's into guys. He's like, look, okay, there's this thing that I know people always judge me for it, and like I don't, black girls always don't want to talk to me, and then girls be feeling like I can't, and then it's like, oh my god, it's like I know when I tell
those are all his insecurities.
Right, he's like when I tell you you're not gonna talk to me, oh my god. She's like,
he had AIDS or something.
She's like, what happened? He's like, fuck, I know if I tell you, you just not, I can't do it. She's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, all right, so, fuck, okay, so when I was like, this is what he's doing on the show, and it's like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's annoying. I'm watching. I'm like, bro, you annoying me. So he's doing all of this shit, right? He goes, okay, so I kind of like I was into guys or something, and she's like, what? Like, what do you mean? He's like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you wasn't gonna talk to me no more. I can't do this shit. And he left, right? And it's like, she's sitting there.
She didn't even say nothing.
She's sitting there like. What the fuck happened? Right, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't even know. What do you mean? I don't even know what's happening.
He just already had made up in his mind how he thought she was.
So that's the second date, right? The third date, the one that you probably saw. So now he comes back on the third date because she's like, I want to have the conversation. I don't know what. Like, I know he said he's into guys, but I don't know what that means. Like, does he talk to guys now? Does he have a boyfriend? Like, what does that mean? He did talk to guys. So then they come the third date, right? He comes in hot off the gay boat. Like, he's straight off I'm the super flamboyant gay boy. He come in there like, right? All of that shit, right? And she's like, so what do you mean? He's like, listen, I'm gonna be gay if I want to be gay because I'm gonna be gay. That's what I am. And she's just like, okay. He's like, you know what? That's what you talking about her wig. That's what your dusty ass wig and shit, and you ugly this and that and the third. But you hate that I'm gay. Yeah, he called her all types of shit, right? So now she's like, yo, you know what? Fuck you. He's like, yeah, I knew it. I knew it deep in your heart you ain't like gay people.
Storm, come here.
There might be a chickpea. They're all over the house.
You like those?
That's not chickpea.
No, it's not.
I know what that is.
It's
That's
like a
definitely
wire.
garbage now.
A wire.
No, it's for the agave bottle. Yeah. So in the third date, she starts doing that. He curses her out. She responds to him cursing her out, right? And then he's like, exactly. I knew you didn't like me. And it's like, no, he was cursed you out because you cursed her out of the club about her weight and called her a bitch. That's why that happened. And then he walked off. No, she threw water on him, I think. Did she threw water on him first?
Her drink.
That's what I meant. Whatever she was drinking. She threw her drink on him and then she walked off. And he was like, yeah, that's why I can never tell nobody about myself because they always act like that. Right? Now, this is what I was saying about everybody else. If you come in with that energy at the second and third date, honestly, all 3 dates, nobody's gonna like you, regardless if you gay, straight, or not, or even a regular person. Nobody's gonna fuck with you because it's annoying to deal with somebody.
He's not happy with himself.
And that's the insecurity that comes in because it's like if you want to be gay and talk to girls, you can do that. And as long as when you're with the girl, you're with the girl. Don't cheat. It's not even about if you cheat with a guy or a girl. Don't cheat with nobody. Don't be like, oh, don't have her thinking, man, he might fuck as a guy or a girl, something like that. If he is with her, then he is with her, and that's how it's supposed to be. Like I said, I think that's what that whole queer thing comes in with the other people, where it's like they feel like, well, I don't want to have to like do
male things.
Yeah, I just want to be able to wear my fingernails and wear my dress sometimes and perm my hair and wear wigs, and that's it. But I don't want to be a girl though. But I don't want to be like, I don't want to date guy. Like, I just want to look like that and not do anything. And it's like, all right, cool. But then don't be surprised. But this is what I don't understand too, because I do feel like I'm gonna say probably white women, maybe white women and maybe other ethnicities. I feel like they will be more tolerable of a guy who is not
stereotypically straight.
No, who's not stereo. What's going on, Storm?
He wants attention.
I see. He's between my legs. He's like one up and between my thighs. What was I gonna say? That I feel like other ethnicities would be more okay with their guy only having a submissive side to them and not having any dominant side to them. I don't know why that is. I don't know where that part comes from. I think
probably
that's
like
a thing.
A slavery thing.
That's what I think. It has something to do with that. Because I'm like, I do think that a white girl or even like other weird ethnicities or not, other foreign ethnicities would be like, yeah, I mean, you know, he's really submissive. It's cool. Like I think probably Indian women are okay with that. I think that probably Asian women would be okay with that. I think white women are okay with that. I think the communities. I wonder if African women are probably not okay with that, but they're also black. I was gonna say Saudi Arabian women if they would be okay with that too. Or Middle Eastern women, I think, would be more okay with that. Like the ones who have been Americanized or Westernized, I think they would be okay with having a guy who's only submissive the majority of the time. So I think it might be something to do with slavery. But again, for all the guys that think that they have to be normal or masculine, you can be as queer, you can be as weird or whatever you want to be, as long as when she crosses the line, you have to go, this is my boundary. You were doing too much. Stop. Like, relax. And then she'll be like, oh, okay, I'm good. Like she bounced off the little container, like, oh shit, okay. There is an ending, like there is some type of barrier here. I'm not just doing whatever I want. And I think that that's what guys need to understand, that women do want to be contained. The word still feels weird to me.
I think it's more of like a little bit dominated.
That's funny. She didn't like that word last week. She's not a fan of that word. So
I mean, my friends and I, we say it all the time.
Oh,
like,
Jesus. That's the word y'all use? It's dominated?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, that's funny. Would you consider yourself... I retired these terms last week, but I'm using it for this question. Do you consider yourself masculine?
No.
Okay. Has anybody ever called you masculine? Okay. So yeah, I was just curious about that. Because I'm like, I wonder if people will be like, yeah, you're masculine and stuff.
No. I've never gotten that.
Okay. So, do you talk about the other thing that I asked you on the phone, or you wanna?
What specifically, like?
I mean, it's a thing, so I feel like it's kind of important to address. I mean, depending on where the conversation goes, we can just kind of, because I'm like,
I mean, we can address it, just not on this platform.
oh, that's the purpose of us addressing it, because I feel like other people have experienced that, and I'm curious. I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I feel like a lot of people go through it. Cause even with people I know in my family, it happens with other people. Even with Martin, happened with Martin. So I'm like, he's not my family, but I feel
Might
like
as well be.
right. So I'm like, I've seen it multiple times, but I feel like nobody talks about it. I've seen it across multiple people. So I'm like, why does nobody talk about it?
It's definitely a thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a thing, but I think people don't act like it is a thing. And I think that until it's addressed, people won't know either one, that it's normal, or two, why it happens, or what comes from it when it does happen. So that's why I've never talked to you about it before. That's why I was like, okay. I talked to you about it. I asked you about it once. So I was like, okay, do you want to have that conversation?
I don't know. Maybe next time.
Okay.
I feel like it's too, like, I haven't really thought about it, so I'm
Right.
like, I would have to think about it.
That's my whole point. That's why we have the conversation now. Because I'm like, then there are things that I would want to ask you about it, because I don't know. You see, you never thought about it before. So there might be things that you've never connected from your life to now because you don't think about it. So for me, up to this point where I'm at now, I had to go and do an audit of my whole life. So go, okay, how is everything I've done in my life up to this point affecting me? What did I do when I was 6? What did I do when I was 11? When I was 15? When my dad said this, when my mom did this, my grandmother, like, how do all of these things affect me now? So I had to think about that. But there's things that I have to ask people. Like at one of my podcasts, when I think it was the one before my dad passed away, the one after it, where I had talked about a conversation that me and him had, where I was like, me and him sat down and we actually got to talk about all the things that I felt like I was upset about, the things that in his past. It became a human conversation where it's like, okay, Niles, I'm your dad, but I'm still a person. So there are things that I didn't know this. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought this and that. So we had that conversation, and then it allowed me to understand things, that why I felt certain ways, why things happened. I'm like, okay, that wasn't his fault. It was this kind of how it was. He's a person. So that's why I'm like, okay, I had this conversation with people. So I'm like, I feel like those are the best ways to get through things that people don't want to address. You just got to sit down and have the conversation with them. So that's why I was asking you if you wanted to talk about it.
Storm, stop it. Like I said, I feel like not right now. Okay. Because it's like, I feel like it's too public of a platform to have that conversation.
I mean, I feel like that's the reason I want to have it, because like I said, other people, I'm going to explain to you why. Other people.
I know. It is a thing.
Right.
It is a thing.
That's why I'm like, but nobody says anything about it.
Right.
People act like it's not a thing. And it's like, it definitely happens, but I'm curious. I would want to know, one, what other people, how they experienced it. Other people be like, bro, that happened to me too, and I didn't know that, because like you said, you haven't thought about it. So things would come out from me thinking about it now that you didn't realize before. Somebody listening will be like, that happens to me, and I also experienced that same other thing that happens to me now. But now I didn't know that because I don't think about it. So I just ignore this part of me because it's like, well, who want to talk to about it? I didn't talk to nobody about it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So that was just my reason as to why I want to talk about it.
Interesting.
I got 2 votes that said y'all are dark skinned.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. I think I'm dark skinned?
Yep.
Okay, well, people I know.
There we have it.
That's crazy.
You got 2 votes that said yes, 1 vote that said no.
I don't know any of these people?
I need to see who said no.
Wow.
I definitely think I'm dark skinned.
Okay.
Like I have.
But it's funny because the 2 people that said you're dark skinned are lighter skinned people. And the person that said you are not dark skinned, she's more closer to your complexion.
That's funny.
It's funny because I don't think y'all are dark skinned.
I don't think I'm dark skinned.
I think I am.
I think
by any standard, like by any like societal standard, like I think anyone would say that I'm dark skinned.
What?
Ariel saw the dog.
Oh. I'm the dark skinned people.
Dark skin people. I mean, who cares?
I mean, it's
Black is black.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, colorism is definitely an issue, but that's a whole nother thing.
What was there was something else you were talking about. So you say you're not talking about the other thing.
Right.
Okay. Can you scroll down?
Did you give your opinion?
Oh, I did not. I kind of touched it on the whole interracial thing, because one of the purposes of this platform is to uplift and educate black men, because I feel like we're lacking. I feel like we need to do better. Only for the simple, one of the reasons is so that we're not a meme. Like, I feel as though if that meme goes around, like black men ain't shit, whatever the case might be, it should automatically be like, you're bugging. And I want it to be normalized that black men are elite. Like, if you were a black man, like, every black man I've ever talked to had an 850 credit score. He had his own life. He was strong. He supported me. He was emotionally there for me. He had all of those things. I want it to be a normal thing for that to be said. So that's why I have this platform, because I feel like I have a lot of information that people can use to feel and be like that. So I do agree that black men are not doing what they're supposed to do, and I think that a lot of men may watch this and feel like, well, I have a job and I have money, and it's like, and a car, and it's like that's not it.
Yeah,
That's not even close. That's not even
a lot of black men are, like I said, it's not even about that. Like, you can have money in a car. Y'all are emotionally unstable.
Oh my
period.
God.
What happened? It wasn't recorded?
No.
Oh.
I don't even know what this means. Something is.
Where did it stop?
I don't know. I mean, that's recording, but so that's gonna be odd. I don't know how much of it. I feel like it kind of got a lot of it. I don't know why this keeps happening. Where the screensaver keeps going on.
Is it like it ran out of space?
It said something I've never seen before either. The audio engine data, some shit like that. So as it's been pointed out, I have not answered the question yet, because I'm actually answering it right now. So, because I'm processing it, because I feel like a black man should date a black woman if he's successful, because it leads for a black man to uplift a black woman who is not successful. But I feel like the problem with, or it's not a problem, I feel like women should not have to uplift their man. And I think that's kind of what happens. So it's like, you shouldn't have to build him and make him what a man should be. So it's a race versus gender thing, where it's like, it's okay for a woman to do it, to date interracially, not a black woman. It's okay for a woman to date interracially, because she shouldn't have to be like, oh, this man, I have to, raise all these different men. But then when it comes to race, it's like, you're black. You need to make sure that if you're going to be the provider, that you're providing for black people, like your family, who's also black, your woman's black, your whatever, your mom's black, whatever the case might be. So I think it's a gender versus race type of thing. And I think that's why it's kind of confusing. I think when you put black women shouldn't date interracially, I think that's where it gets kind of fucked up, because all women should be able to date interracially. I don't like it. That shit bothers me, because I feel like I feel like black women date white men out of insecurity, and I think they do it out of necessity.
I have no other option. Like,
I mean, I just feel
the
very.
Only person who treated me the way I wanted to be treated.
I get very uncomfortable when I see a black woman with a white man. It makes me cringe.
You don't get uncomfortable when you see a black man with a white woman?
No, and it comes from a dominant thing, because I know that the white man is dominating the black woman, and I know that the black guy is dominating the white woman. So is it
like a slavery thing, like yes. Master? Like
exactly.
That's you sleeping with master?
Right. That's the problem. Where it's like the black guy, okay, he's in control of that white woman. It's not.
So it's a revenge.
In terms of what? It's not about revenge.
The black man is.
It still doesn't.
It's not about revenge. It's like, I don't want the black woman being controlled by the white man. So I don't want him being in power.
You, as a black man, act correctly.
I'm just saying me. I mean,
in general.
But I'm saying, I know, but I'm like.
Even the black man with the white woman, like, okay, let's say they get married or whatever. Now he has to deal with her family. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, he's still in a realm of kind of potentially being submissive to that.
Yeah, but that's not that doesn't seem the same to me. That seems more as weird, like, bro, why you doing that? Because at the end of the day, I feel like he can still be dominant even among them. I don't feel
he's
like
still the husband,
right. So I still feel like he can be in that
But what if
space.
she's one of those people that likes submissive men, and he's a submissive white man?
Which one?
Or what if she says some crazy shit about like okay, you walking past like a black woman, she says some wild shit like, oh my god, why her hair look like that or something like that.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. As the man, he should be able to correct that. So it's like, if he's able to, he should be correcting that kind of behavior where it's like, yo, what do you mean? What's wrong with her hair? Whether it would be like, if it's a racist undertone, he should correct it. If it's a joke, I think, maybe you should tell her, this is kind of weird because you're white and that person is black. But in that dynamic between a woman and a guy, they're together. You start adding on other pieces, those are attachments to that. So in the beginning, it's I'm with you. Okay, you have a family, I can deal with that family, but I'm going to protect us first, and then I'll deal with your mom and your racist grandfather and your uncle and shit, whoever they are. I can deal with that as long as me and you are on the same page. Because we don't live with them, I don't take care of them, this whatever. But I feel like if it's a white man with a black woman, it's what I say. It's like this is I don't want to say the law, like the what's the word I'm looking for? Again, this is the way this direction that we're going.
But isn't the woman dominant in that relationship though?
Which one?
With the black woman and the white man.
Not necessarily, I guess.
Yeah, it don't have to be.
depends.
Right. She could be, but the thing is, I rarely see that. Like, I rarely see and it could be, but I rarely see a black woman. I only know one person that I kind of understand, seen that with, and that might be Bill Burr and his wife. But he still has, in my opinion, not racist undertones, but he's like white, but he's cool with blacks. Black, right? But there are people who are white and you go, yeah, he's black. You're like, no, but he's black. He's like, I know but he's a black person. He just has white skin. And I don't think he's that. And I don't think it's a problem with that, but I think when you are white, you're gonna automatically have those racist undertones because to you it's a normal thing where it's like racist jokes to you are not racist because it's like it's just a joke. I just say these things. It's like like was one time, and it's doing something to me that always makes me feel weird. Joe Rogan, do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. He had an episode on one of his podcasts. This was like years ago, where he was like, why can't I say words? And he's friends with a lot of black people. A lot of black people he's friends with. He's like, it's people get hurt by words. It's just words. Well, you say it's a sound that comes out of my mouth. It's not. How can a sound be offensive and racist? It's just a sound. He was like, watch, nigger. And I was just like, I'm like, that's not even like it's not even a funny joke. Funny. Yeah, I'm like, it's not even a funny like those two things. The fact that it's a sound. It's like if somebody said, I'm gonna rape your daughter. It's like these are all just sounds that come out of your mouth. But I feel like he would have been way more offended by that. He's like, well, you can't say that. Well, why not? It's just sounds come out of my mouth, and I feel like that's what they don't understand. They feel like, well, I should be able to say whatever I want to say, and it's just a word I could say it. And it's like there are things that come with that. But if he's dating a black woman and he's talking like that in the house, if she's checking him on that regularly, they're gonna have a problematic relationship. Right. She's like, well, that's racist. That's racist, Joe. You can't say that's racist. After a point, it's gonna be like, all right, well, everything I do is racist. This is not gonna work. Everything I say is a racist thing
because
to you.
You're racist,
right? But he won't see that, and those are really overt things. There are a lot of covert things that won't be either noticed or said like that, where it's kind of just like, all right, come on, we're gonna leave right now. You're like, well, what happened? Come on, we're leaving. He's like, all right.
I don't see the problem.
Right. I don't know why we're leaving, but don't worry, we're leaving, and whatever. So like I said, so as far as that, I understand it, and I think that is kind of how it. But I don't.
I think also what you were saying about like like how it shouldn't be universally like black men ain't shit type of thing, because like if you look at the Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson situation, it's like when he cheated on her, there were so many black women that were like, good, like now you get from them what we get from them. And it was like that kind of feeling. Like that's exactly what you always going after black men, you and your family, which that's a whole nother thing. We don't have to talk about that because that's just, I don't like those people.
Wait, what's the Kardashians?
Right.
Okay.
But it's like it was like this whole universal thing of like, see, you guys always think that, you know, because you're whatever and you got the big fake butt and the whatever and you're rich, that a black man won't do to you what he will do to us. But no, black men still ain't shit, and you got you ain't shit black man. That's what you get. And it's like it was like this universal like, whew, good for her. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think another thing too, which I would want to see more about, is you've been in Africa. How do you talk to people who are in Africa who know like how the culture is there? Because I'm wondering if it's a situation where, because we're in America and everybody is white, the white people are going to be seen as better. But if you go to places everybody is black, it's not really about the black men. African men ain't shit. I don't really hear that. Is that I think Africa? Maybe it's like Nigerian men and shit in Africa. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Like, they do say that. Like, they're, like, in the African community, it's like, oh, like, Yoruba demons, Yoruba men ain't shit. Like, those are, like that's a Nigerian, like, tribe, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think what a lot of people don't realize, and I didn't realize this about Africa until, like, someone I know who's, Ghanaian had told me this, and he was like, I didn't really understand racism like until I came to America, because I guess the way, and I think now in Africa, like, they know more of like obviously what happens here and blah blah blah, and like the white men are bad, right? But like I think he was explaining to me how they try to teach them like, oh, you know, when the white people came to
for Instagram,
they were trying to teach him like, oh, you know, when the white people came here, like they gave us this and they taught us this and they brought us education and blah blah blah, and like they did good things for us, you know, and they educated us, and like a lot of the people who stayed in Africa were not poor like as they want you to think in you know, on TV for $1 a day. No, like a lot of those people, like they had money, they were rich, they went to boarding schools, like that's the culture there. It wasn't until they came here and they were like seeing a white person, they're like, why the white person treated me this way? Oh, now I understand, you know, this idea of racism. But and the colonizers were so good at what they did, you know, so it's like the people in Africa, they made sure that they were so, we, you know, as the Americans that came to America, we're so detached from that that we just had like no idea, and then they fed us one thing and fed them another thing. So I think, you know, but I mean, as far as that, I don't know how they feel about interracial relationships. You don't see it too much because they tend to be very like, I'm Ghanaian and I'm gonna marry a Ghanaian, or I'm from Cote d'Ivoire and I'm gonna marry someone who's from my same. And then you also have to remember that like Christianity and Islam plays a big role in, you know, a lot of West African countries and African countries in general, and they tend to date people and marry people who are of a similar mindset. They don't tend to date outside of that. So that's also another, you know, factor. Yeah,
because I'm wondering if so you think that they, I guess, discriminate based off of their tribe? So like, like Ghanaians dating a Nigerian would be weird, like to the inner people?
Yeah, or like my mom has a friend who's like Ghanaian, and like I'll be like, oh, her name is Joanna. I'll be like, oh, Joanna, like I want to go to West Africa. She was like, oh, well, you should come to Ghana. Don't go to Nigeria. Nigerians are bad. They steal. They're scammers. They're this. They're that. That's just we treat you nice in Ghana. Like that's how. You know, but I guess it's a thing. I don't know. I can't really say, but this is just like my experience. I have a lot of friends that are African, so
yeah. I'm wondering how it would be solved if there would be a situation where, I want to be a stepping stone on the route to, listen, you said black men ain't shit. I want the immediate response to be like, I don't know black men you talking to, because all the ones I talk to, them, my friends, my exes, everybody that I'm with, but I'm with now, they the shit. So I don't. Where the guys you talk to at? I'm not going over there because I don't want to meet them.
But that would just take like so much, because it's so much. I think the issue is just so much deeper. I think it's because of like slavery and these things. I think it has gotten to a point where it's like genetically, mentally an issue.
I don't believe that.
I believe
that's
that.
not. I don't think. I disagree.
I do.
Because how that your DNA doesn't have
Or like
feelings.
even like my friends, they'll be like, okay, like Caribbean black men. Like this is also another thing, right? Like Caribbean black men, Caribbean Americans versus African Americans. And when I say African Americans, I mean like African Americans that like their ancestors were brought from Africa to the United States and they were slaves. And then it's just like a lot of people feel like they have this different mindset, right? Like they just get stuck. Like those are the people in our society who get stuck, or those are the people who a lot of the times become like the welfare queens, where it's like, I'm just gonna, you know what I mean? And it's like, there's just a different, like there's a lack of ambition that comes from like the African American, like I don't know what it is.
Listen, this is why I say that the whole gene thing is irrelevant, because when people are growing up, these things are instilled into them, whether they know it or not. They're instilled, and I think when they say like the DNA, it's like, no, your mother or your father was also a person that didn't care about credit, who didn't care about financial literacy, they didn't care about emotional well-being, they didn't care about those things. So it's like, how would you know to even think about those things if your parents never even talked to you about it, and their parents didn't talk to them about it?
If you think about us, right? Like we come from a family, because we were both raised by that specific side of the family, right? We come from a family, they are emotionally retarded, right? Like, but I feel like just because you were raised that way, and that's like, wouldn't you look at that and be like, you know what? I don't want to be like that. I want to be different. This is an example.
So when I talked to my dad, that conversation that we had, I talked to him, and even before that, I had said about the beatings. I'm like, or the spankings, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, I feel like those were, like, I got beat a lot. He was like, I thought I beat you a lot less than I got beat. He's like, look, let's say, for example, I got beat 50, 100 times, right? Him. He's like, I only beat you 15. He's like, so to me, I'm thinking, all right, I'm doing way better than my dad was doing to me, but it's like, I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe I shouldn't beat you at all. But he doesn't know that. He's thinking I went from 100 to 15. That's a huge change. But he doesn't know that beating maybe it's bad for you.
Right.
So he's thinking, he's like, yeah, I'm doing better. But it's like, what is better? Better is only compared to what you know from before that. So if your history of it is only knowing, listen, I know how to think about this, right? If you have if your parents always wanted a car for their whole life, they never had a car, even with houses. I want to get a house. I want to buy a house, right? Your goal is gonna be, I want to buy a house too. I want to be able to get a car. So now already you're basing your life off of, I want to get a car. Not thinking about, I got to pay insurance, it's going to break down, I got to pay for gas, I can't park nowhere. You're not thinking about that. You know who knows that? People who have had cars for years and go, listen, you don't need no fucking car. What you need to do is this, and that, and the car will come later. Don't worry about that. My dad was able to tell me that. So I'm like, it's whatever for a car.
Right.
But people who never had it are like, oh, even same thing with a house. I want to buy a house. And it's like, why you want to buy a house? Because everybody says I should buy a house. But it's like, do you know what comes with that?
Exactly. A lot of people, I have had to tell a lot of people that it's like, can you afford property taxes? If something breaks in your house, there's no maintenance coming. Right. You have to hire someone to come in.
Shovel
if your roof is falling off, you have to fix your roof. If the paint is chipping, you have to fix it. If the gas bill, electric, water, all of these things that you're not thinking about, but you want to own a house, you can't afford a house.
Right. But this is the thing.
But they've never lived in a house. They've only lived in an apartment.
Even if they did live in a house. Even if they lived in a house. Right? Let's say they lived in a house. They weren't paying the bills, one, in the house, and two, they still don't know what the finesse of having a house is. So one thing I learned, I forgot, it was something about, if you live in a house, you're able to, I think, if you get a loan for a house, you can live in it for a year, and you can move it and sell it, something like that. People don't know those types of finesses because we never got to that level yet. We're still at the I want to get a house level.
Right.
I think we've transitioning away from buying a car, because I feel like that was the thing. I want to get the nicest car with the rims and this and that. I feel like we're probably going from that.
Get a car that gets you from point A to point
right.
B.
But I feel like that was at the point. That was the thing. I want to get the car. Right. And I was like, okay, everybody's on this whole black power for get a house thing. And it's like, all right, that's cool, but
that's not necessarily helping, right? Because it's like,
what is not helping?
I mean, if you're saying, okay, black power, let's buy houses, let's buy up the market, you're still getting a mortgage through a bank that is run buy, that is white owned.
But that's what I'm saying. So
until you outright own the house, but you have to pay a mortgage for
Yes.
15 or 30 years.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You know that. Somebody that doesn't know that might think, you know what, my parents don't own a house, I'm gonna get a house.
Right.
So now they buy a house. I'm doing good now. I got me a house. They posted on Instagram. I bought my first house, and it's like, all right, that's cool. But now you got finessed. Now you got to pay $2,000 a month for this house for 40 years. Hopefully nothing changes in the market where the prices go up, and now you all fucked up. Now you lost the house, you lost the money, and you still got to pay the loan, and now you all the way fucked up. But they don't think about it only because their knowledge, their ceiling of knowledge is low. So even if they're growing.
So your point is that basically we started out on a higher ceiling of knowledge than
Yes,
other people.
right.
So we're already
Right, we're
up
already
here because the bar was already high to begin with.
Right. So, but the thing is, compared to somebody else who doesn't know, we're still low to somebody else. Because I'm like I said, I'm learning about stuff now about stocks and like, for example, with the stock market, right? I just started getting into it in the last couple of years. My dad had money in the stock market during the crash, and the whole time it happened, I lost so much money. I'm not investing in stocks no more. I'm taking my money out the market. Shit's crazy. But I found out that the market always goes back up.
Right.
All the time, right? But if I'm only listening to him, I do my own research, I'm like, I'm never buying stocks. My dad has stocks. I'm not doing that shit. Right. So it's like, I'm not getting into it. But only because I was able to do the research. First of all, I knew about the stocks because of him. So now I can go, okay, I'm gonna do it better.
Research.
Right. But if I don't even know about stocks, I'm like, well, I'm gonna try and get some stocks. I'm gonna do that. I heard about it one time on Instagram and Facebook. I'm gonna buy some stocks. And you buy the shit and they end up all fucked up. So I guess I think that's something that's why I want to help black men in general, because I'm like, I don't care about nobody else, the Spanish men, the white men, everybody. That's not my problem. Y'all find you a Spanish Donivan Gray or a white Donivan Gray, you go to him, have him help you. I'm not for y'all. Y'all can take my advice if y'all want, but I'm looking right now, I'm not for y'all. I'm for the black people who look like me and act and talk like me. So can you scroll down? Oh yeah, this is another recap. Jamal Bowman got elected. So
was that in Mount Vernon?
No, that's over here. Actually, I think.
In Queens.
Is it? I think it might be. I don't know how big the district is. I don't because they called me here in Jamaica about it. So I don't know if he's
in the
that probably it, because he took out the Engelman guy. So that might be in the Bronx. It's the Bronx and I think parts of Yonkers. So he won, and like I said before in the other podcast, I don't care about who the president is, right? Because I feel like what he does not really affect my life as much as the guy who we don't know, who the 16th district leader or congressman or whatever. Right. He's writing laws every other week that we have no idea what they're doing. We walk to school one day and find out we can't go to school now because he changed these laws for whatever reasons. I feel like we should have voted for him, and he's black. So he won. So shout out to that. Let me see, women. Okay, you go down. It's at the bottom. So wait, go back. I'm gonna say exactly what it was. Jamal Bowman beats establishment candidate Elliot Engel in plus 25-point upset, making the Bronx one of the most progressive counties in the nation. Okay.
All y'all people who be hating on the Bronx.
Listen, we out here, fam. Okay, keep going. Oh yes. So, I think talk to you about that too in a second. The coronavirus thing. This is one of my conspiracy theories going forward, right? So, I think that it's possible for the entertainment industry to be like the concerts to be done going forward. Oh, you go to concerts too. That's good. Yeah, both of you going to concerts, right? Mm-hmm. I think that it's possible they can cancel all the concerts and then there will be a concert ever again, right? I'm gonna tell you why I think that.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds so terrible.
The reason I think that
I go to at least 2 concerts a year, like minimum.
So this is what I think they would do. I think that, have you been watching the ones on Instagram?
No.
Okay, I think that if they want to cancel a concert, they have to make everybody happy involved. That means you, the hard goer, who goes to the thing all the time, Melissa, who goes to them all the time, me, who doesn't go at all, and the people who make money, the artist and the record labels.
And then you have to think about Ticketmaster,
right? Well, not really. They're not that important.
The venues, Madison Square Garden, and
but they would be the ones that lose. They're not that important.
Okay.
Because they're just a place that is being used at. They aren't the one that's that important, right? Because the artist wants the money. And the venue
and we want to see the
right. But the venue is a middleman. We can cut them out. So pretty much, this is what I was thinking. All right, here we go. If you had a situation where everybody got VR sets, right? Set up there, and they have a situation where Facebook gives them out. Have you seen that over there's a Google Pod thing? Have you got one of those for free? Have you seen that yet?
I haven't Alexa.
Okay, they get that to me for free. I don't know why. They
Yeah, because they want to listen to you.
Right. That's what I figured. So I'm not turning that shit on, no. But imagine if they gave a virtual reality headset for free, or they made you pay like $1 a month. How they do for the cell phones? Have you ever got a cell phone where they tell you could pay for the case? You pay like 89 cents a month for your case, and you keep it or whatever. Have you seen that before?
Sure.
Okay, so that be happening, right? So I'm thinking they give you a virtual reality set. You pay $1 a month for it. You don't really think about it. It comes out of your account. You pay it off, right? And you get to watch the concerts from your virtual reality.
But see, the thing about people who go to concerts, and people who go to concerts know this, it's about the experience. Like, you want to go, you want to hear like the live instrumentation, you want to feel like you're close to the performer. It's the whole experience. Or even like something I go to every year is Gov Ball. Gov Ball is not just about the performances, it's the whole atmosphere. There's the vendors, the food, the lounges, it's the whole experience. So I personally would not pay for that, because it's like, what does that do for me? If I'm going to do that,
the VR,
I would no, because if I'm going to do that, I might as well just sit here and watch it on my computer and go on.
But that's the thing, though, it's virtual reality, so it's not the same.
Yeah, but virtual reality is not reality. That's the thing.
Right.
So I can't be there. I can't be at the concert drunk. I can't be in my floor seats. I can't scream. I can't do
those. That's not all true. So you can be drunk.
I mean, yes, I get what you're saying, but it's not the same as when you go to a concert. You go to a concert for the experience of going to the concert. You don't go to the concert. If that was the case, I would just look up so and so Beyonce concert on my phone. Like, no, you want to feel.
But like you said, it's the experience, right?
But you can't have the concert experience in a VR headset.
You can recreate a lot of that in your VR headset.
So how can you? How do you recreate a festival?
You can walk around in the VR headset.
Yeah, but where am I going to get a lobster roll from over here, and cookie dough from over here, and buffalo wings from over here, and Thai iced tea from over there, and sit out on the lawn, and people smoking and doing whatever they want? It's not the same. And then it's like, you go with people, you know what I mean? Like, it's an experience. You have like the swings, there's just so much that goes into it that I would not pay for that.
I think I think the only festival that I went to was like Panorama, and I don't think they have like a lot of the stuff that she's talking about. So I was thinking about it in terms of like just a concert, you want to see that one artist. I think that the VR would work, but for a festival like that.
Yeah.
But even like with concerts, when you go to concerts, you want to get merch, you want to like be, you know what I mean? Or they have like little things that you can take pictures with them. It's not the same. Like, I will readily buy merch. If I'm at Madison Square Garden, right, and it's a Bruno Mars concert, I will buy merch right there. The other day, it was my birthday last week. They sent me something. They were like, oh, $25 off. I'm like, I'm not paying for that. I don't want it. I only want it when I'm there. Okay, so this is what I was thinking about, the win-win for everybody. I do think that's a good point, though. I don't think that they have an ability for the tasting part of that experience. I think they can do the hearing, they can do the feeling, they can do the sound and things like that, and the visual. I don't think, as far as like I go to taste the food, I don't think you can do that. However, I think the trade-off would be where they bring in more money, because people like me, I probably wouldn't do it, but people like me might, where it's like I only have to pay, how much was a ticket to go to Governor's Ball? Yeah, I got VIP tickets. Well, this year, I mean, I was obviously canceled. You get a refund for that? Yeah, I did get a refund. But it was almost about $350. Okay. For VIP. Right. So that's VIP $350, right? So someone like me who doesn't go to concerts, they could give me that same, for the most part, experience, and I pay $20, $30. Yeah, but then the people who do go to concerts are going to be dissatisfied. And you have to realize a lot of people go to concerts. And that's what I have up there. So what they would do is the hard goers have to pay a premium price. But what am I getting with that premium? You get to go. Oh, come on. See, that makes sense. Something like you would probably pay. Yeah, but right. See, I'm just saying, but I'm thinking about on a business level. If they said, okay, you want to go to Governor's Ball? But there are a lot of people who would pay. So there are? Yes. That's exactly. That's my whole thing. Because I feel like this whole coronavirus shit is fake. It's not fake, but it's being used. It's man-made. It's man-made, being used for some other shit to get other things going, right? So if they want to have a concert where it's socially distanced, right? They go, okay, all tickets here are $1,000,
right? So now we can have less people possibly.
But you're making more money.
We're making more money, and
then
there's
you have
more
the people
space.
watching at home.
Right, and people at home are paying $20 to watch on the VR, and they can watch different concerts, whatever they want to watch.
But I think also part of the thing of going to a concert is like each show is different. Like if Beyonce has a concert in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Boston, right? Mm-hmm. Each show is different. Like each experience, like they don't. Yes, essentially it's the same show over and over again, but there are just little nuances of like, oh yeah, I was at the, MSG show, or oh yeah, I was at the Prudential show, and you see I go to cons because I know the venues, okay? So it's like, I don't know. I think it's just like the little nuances, or like if you're really a fan of someone, you just know like, oh, this is what he did at this concert, or like sometimes if an artist performs on their birthday, and they have a concert on their birthday, it's their birthday concert. It's just, there's just little things, and it's like nobody else had that experience because you were there that day. I wasn't there that day because I was in New York, and maybe that concert was in London, like whatever. But
did you see the Travis Scott? Are you a fan of Travis Scott?
No.
Okay. Well, there was a Travis Scott video game thing that came out when he was on Fortnite, right? And he had a concert on Fortnite, right? Now it wasn't virtual reality, but it was cool
like
to
you
look
had your
at.
character go.
Yeah, exactly, and you could rave and shit in there, right? Now I thought it was cool. Liz thought it was cool. Her little brother thought it was cool also, right? Now I think it would have been a lot cooler if you had a virtual reality where you can actually walk, you can be inside
and you're like
and walk around. You're playing, you can pick up stuff, throw things, and
he be looking dead when he sleeps. Okay, I just need to open his eye a little
and because look at his stomach, that's how you know. You see stomach
I know, but I just.
Oh, that's your mom kicking. Your mom is sticking in. So, what was I gonna say? What time is on there? On the phone. You still recording? I mean, still talking.
About 2 hours.
Okay, that's good. So, what was I saying?
Virtual, no, not virtual.
Oh, the
concert.
Right. So you're wearing the thing, right? You're able to throw stuff, play around. Again, you only pay $15, whatever price, $30 for it. It's a really low price for it, so you don't get to be there, but you get up to cool, like, yo, bro, I watched, I was walking around. Now think about this, right? Everybody that pays for the ticket will be in the front row. If you pay online and you get first reality, everybody's in the front row because it's first reality. You don't have to be there. You just put everybody in the front row.
Yeah, but it's things that happen in a concert. They be throwing their towels, and you get a little keepsake or the guitar pick. Like, it's little things that it's like, if I'm there in a virtual headset.
That's if you're in the front. If I'm all the way in the last 5 rows.
But I never sit all the way in the last 5 rows.
But how many people you think are back there? A lot of people.
Yeah, well.
So for people like you could pay $1,000 to go, and you could
pay $1,000.
Man, you sit it down until you have to pay $1,000.
Well, when I have my lawyer money, I will pay $1,000.
Exactly, and then you'll be there. Only lawyers, doctors, engineers, scientists, everybody, they'll be there. The regular guy won't, but they'll still pay $30. So now you can pretty much multiply the amount of people that can watch it. All that money you get to keep, and you have to do less shows as an artist. You don't have to do as many because you're not traveling around as much.
Strenuous.
It's not as strenuous, and the production is not as big because you only do it one time or maybe 2 or 3 times. You don't got to travel around the whole world. All you want to do is make. Let's see.
But I don't even think a lot of artists would even subscribe to that because they touring is a thing. Like, it's like I'm on the road. Like, I think they like that experience.
They would still be able to do that though for the live concert part of it.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
too.
I guess if they're going to different venues and it's just like, it's not the same. It's stupid at that point. It's like, what am I traveling around for then?
Right. Cause that's the thing.
Some things that keep people going are like, yo, I know it's gonna be like 500 people
and the Baby and Meg Thee Stallion, those upcoming artists.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be more inclined to do that.
Yeah, because I saw Meg Thee Stallion at Summer Jam, but I don't know if she's been on tour yet.
And it's like, if you give her an option, then listen, you could do 2 shows and make 3 times as much money, 4 times as much money.
Yeah.
She'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then it's like nobody's seen her in concert before anyways. So.
And then now you started a trend. Now everybody after her is like, I'm not going, I gotta travel and pay for my friends to come. I gotta get a bus.
But it's not, you don't travel because it's like, no, because unless you live, I don't know, maybe I'm fortunate because I live in New York. It's no artist is gonna go on tour and skip New York. Where am I traveling to? I get on the train, I get off.
Travel, not you, the person, the artist. They I gotta get on a bus. I gotta go to all the different states. I gotta travel across the world and everything else, and I gotta get paid less money than if I did virtual reality. So I was thinking about that. I think that if they decide to get rid of this shit, but yeah, you say you think it's man-made.
I do. It is.
Yeah. So okay, I'm like I think it's some bullshit, but you know.
It's definitely man-made. I think when it first came out, my thing was like, I think it was a form of population control. I think if you think about how they're always talking about like boomers, that generation, it's like an easy way to get a lot of them out and create a lot of jobs. And
yeah, I thought about that too, but I'm like, it is not working. Like I'm like,
I mean, nothing is gonna be perfect, right?
No, it's not about being perfect. I'm like, if you decided, because I think me and Hunter talked about this in the first 2 episodes. I'm like, if you created a virus to kill people, and it's supposed to be population control, you only kill 500,000 people. It's like, you ain't really killing many people. That's not too many people that died. It may be like 4 million, 8 million, something like that. Like 500,000 is not a lot of people. That's not even like, that might be a borough. Maybe.
And that's
in the whole world. Like 500,000 in the whole world. It might be like 800,000
in the whole world. Still.
But it's compared to 7 or 9 billion people, that's not that many. And think about it.
Maybe they have to do it in a way that's not suspicious.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, if I was going to create...
I mean, it is suspicious, but...
Right, they're not really doing a good job of that. That's what I think. If it comes down to them trying to kill people, I'm like, they're doing a really bad job of that. They're not killing enough people for it to be that kind of virus. Can you scroll down, see what else I have in there?
There's nothing else.
That's it? Mm-hmm. All right, so that will wrap up episode 15. I had fun. That was enjoyable. How do you feel about your first podcast?
That was lit, you know what I'm saying? No shame.
Okay, that was cool. So people asked about having a guest on the podcast, because I've been asked multiple times people to come on. Somebody asked me what it would be like to have somebody on. They said it might be more dynamic. I think this is fun. I also think you are a great guest, because I feel like you are educated enough to have your own thoughts, so you can actually kind of flesh out your ideas, as opposed to, I've never had anybody else on, really, but people may come on and be like, I don't really know what to say, and they only want me to do all the talking. So it's like, I feel like you were able, but that's because I know you, I feel like you were able to hold your own as far as your thoughts and what you think, and have a conversation about other topics. So I think that makes for a great guest. So what else do I want to talk about? I think that's it. So episode 15, that's a wrap. Bamboo Project out.
You're not gonna see the handles again. You're not gonna
see. That's why I have this on here. And here, if shut off forget. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. I changed the settings.
Dang.
The audio engine was not able to process all required data.
System overload.
Bruh.
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
You need to get the iPad.
Fuck, bruh. This is your job.
You want the laptop close to you.
What the fuck, man? Let me see what it has right here.
Do you have all the podcasts on the computer?
I don't know.
Huh?
Oh, where is this playing from? I'm gonna be typing when I hear this shit. It's gonna be like 30 minutes ago. Okay.
What's that?
Why does it sound like that?
What happened? Oh, his laptop just sounds like that.
No.
No? What? 350.
Fuck.
What number is that from?
No, it's not even that. Fuck.
That's not that far into the podcast.
No, it's not that. It's this. I don't know if this sound. Let me see.
That's how your laptop sounds.
No, not that sound. Okay. This shit.
Oh, the metronome?
Yeah,
I don't think it plays in the...
Yeah, I was like, bro, because one time I made a video or something, I felt like I heard it.
Oh, no. It's not so... Oh, if it was playing out loud, then yeah, it would count.
That's what I'm like my chest.
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
And 350, that's when we were talking about the concert. So that's not that far.
People like me, right? Where it's like, I only have to pay, how much I ticket to go to
Yeah, that was like...
This might be 10 minutes ago, yeah.
Alright, so...
And it's about to die again.
With that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's an hour and 20 minutes.
But it's supposed to be 2 hours long. Either way. In there. So, right. My producer informed me I should have also gave out the handles. So your Instagram handle is gonna be like a little thing right here that says your name too. For the audio, for the podcast people listening.
At OMG, it's Hadassah. If you don't know how to spell my name, it's in the Bible. Look it up.
I was thinking about that too, about saying that too. It's biblical.
It is biblical.
So, one reason I like giving out my Instagram is also Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and the producer of this podcast, Melissa Burnett. Anita Burn is her Instagram, ANETABURN. Now, one thing I like a reason I like to give out the podcast name is because I know when I hear a podcast, I'm like, what do they look like? I want to know. I want to put a voice, a person's face to the voice. So that's why I like having that. I'm like, oh, go look at the Instagram real quick, see if they weird and shit. So that's why I give out our stuff. You can, if you're listening, if you made it through on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple. Bruh, yeah, this is. I mean, listen, that was the first time having a guest in the Bamboo Project studio, so this is an experience. We're going to have to definitely check up all these things. And like I said, I want to do for this, I want to do a half and half where it's the notes for the podcast and then the producer notes.
Split screen. You can split the screen.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't done it yet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going forward, I want to have that set up so that we can be able to check this is happening, that's happening, that's happening.
Okay, it's recording.
And what else? Oh yeah, so if you're on YouTube, you can look at us on Spotify. You can watch us on. If you're on YouTube, you can hear us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Anchor. And excuse me. All the Instagrams will be down here if you want to get healthy. Unlike Hadassah, she wants to keep eating all this bullshit ass food like McDonald's. Ridiculous. Shit, listen, one day you're gonna see her on. She's gonna be fat. Watch.
It's genetically impossible. You know this.
Yeah, okay. She say that now till she's fat. A lot of people be thinking that until they eat a bunch of food.
I will never let myself get fat. I'm not crazy.
Let yourself get skinny.
Huh?
Let yourself get skinny.
I don't look good at 120 pounds.
You think you look good at 190 pounds?
I'm not gonna get to 100. I'm gonna keep my
Did
weight
you
where
think
it
you're gonna
is.
get at
I like
120?
this weight.
You think you're gonna hit 120?
120?
You think you're gonna hit? Did you think you're gonna hit 120? No.
No.
And then you got to 120, so you're gonna get to 190. Be like, damn, how I get to
No,
190?
but I keep my weight. I've been the same weight for like several years. Like I know how to keep my weight. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I don't have to eat sea moss jelly
Listen.
to be 130 pounds. Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you guys right now. You're gonna see her today, and then this is her first
5
time on the
years from
podcast.
now, I'ma still look good.
She gonna be looking very. He said thick with 11 C's. She gonna look just like that. It's gonna be mad. It's gonna be so many C's is fat.
It's genetically impossible.
So
Get that.
but yeah. So like I said, today was fun, and for the second time, Bamboo Project out.